All right, what's going on? Are the mics hot? Are we on? Is this thing on? What's going on the Justin Sofro YouTube network? It's what used to be the take, I guess. That's James Streble. We look the same. We're overweight guys sitting. I am in a basement. He is in some sort of room where there is some sort of map. I don't know what Streble's exactly doing there. Maybe he's in his classroom. I really have no idea. Is that it? Is that where you're at right now?
I'm in my high school classroom right now.
I was like, what's going on? Why is there not a picture of Michael Kidd-Gilchrist in the background? Why is there not a picture of Foxy Brown in the background? What's going on? I thought this was the Streble lair. We're live on ESPN Plus. Andy Sweeney, that's me. He's James Streble. We have gas bags that are going to be joining us tonight. As we go, Justin Jeffries and his sweatpants are going to be joining us. By the way, Double J left his hoodie at the office, and I swear you could fit 19 sorority girls in this hoodie. In fact, whoever brought it to me goes, is this Jeffries or Jason Entz's? So anyway, Jeffries... Jeffries will join us.
So you fit 3 Jason Entz's in that. 19 sorority girls, 3 Entz's.
And 3 Jason Entz's. Anna Terillo, who is on this channel far too much. I really thought she had a life, but it's becoming apparent that she might not. She will join, which is fine. Neither do we. So she will join us coming up in a little bit. Cantrell is going to join us. Zachy C. Z Money, he's going to join us. I don't know if he knows it yet, but he will be putting on the sunglasses. And if he has any sort of Trump hat, he'll be wearing that as well. Who else is? Oh, TJ Walker is supposed to be joining us from his bourbon den that I have seen on this YouTube stream. So we're doing all this. Obviously, Will Stein gets the job. Press conference today. Peepaw himself, Streble, I know you've heard some of that. We're going to effort to play some of it here in a second. But Peepaw got mad at the media. Of course, the only time he's talked to the media, since, as Bobby V would say, the French and Indian War. So he never meets with the media. So he did today and got angry, which I love. I had a mole in the audience who did a little talk to Cutter Bowley's and his family. So you like that?
Really?
I got that. You like that? You know I got something.
I like that. I like your moles.
So we have that. But first, his beautiful face. And whatever kind of lair he has, you don't see it, but we need to see it. So can we ascend the picture of Justin Sofro from the heavens? Can we see there?
Okay, it's too loud. It's way too loud. I probably need to block this TV out so people can't see me watching Arkansas kick our ass right now.
Okay, well, that's the thing.
Calipari's back doing what he does. I can't escape it. I can't get away from it. It's not Kenny Payne.
People, you'll love it. Regardless of what happens right now, the timeline is this is what happens every single time.
Every single time we play Cal.
Prototypical game every single time. So I've been laughing at that.
Rummage is already starting. I hope this is the last time we have to play a John Calipari team. It's unbelievable the way he gets ready for Louisville. Well, maybe it's because it's the first team you've played with actual talent, because Kentucky doesn't have talent. They stink. Cincinnati almost beat you. They stink. Terrible. All they could do is play defense. Cal got dudes. Now you're playing a team that's got dudes. Like you'll play Duke. They got dudes. NC State. They got dudes. North Carolina has a dude. I mean, Louisville about to get clapped. Y'all's fake ass team.
It is 14
I can't fight
right
back.
now.
I can't fight back. I don't know what to tell you. Well, it's the I was worried about it being fake juice, and it's fake.
I was watching it. We'll see what happens. Arkansas at 14 at the line, but so I wanted Sofro just to fly in and be happy or be mad or tell us which player impregnated him or whatever the things he has said over the last several weeks. I wanted to get to that, but I was watching Arkansas, and it wasn't even that. It was and again, we're doing this right now. People may watch this later and say, well, Louisville came back and won by 10, you fat jackasses. What's wrong with you? But the thing that it made me think of, and it's terrible to say, is how bad James Streble wants those players, and it's killing him. Because he used to have the tough physical player. It's like, well, they can't shoot a 3. Well, right now he's got Pee Wee Pope who can't shoot a 3.
No. And the players aren't tough. The players aren't physical. They can't rebound. I mean, they can't play defense. God. We were talking about this off camera. I guess not off air. This is off camera. We were talking off camera about this. I mean, one thing John Calipari teams are going to do, they're going to rebound the basketball, they're going to play defense, and they're just going to run. and that's what he's best at. Pat Kelsey's trying to keep up with him, and right now he can't do it.
Michael Brown just put someone on a poster. I'm not exactly sure who. So anyway, we'll keep you abreast of that. Sofro has went off into his lair, whatever. You can't make a joke anymore about lairs, right? You can't do that anymore. You can't. I feel like that's something I could do 3 years ago. I feel like I cannot do that any longer. Streble, we'll get into it. The one thing I am sad at that I got the old Busch Light. I thought Streble was going to be choking back some Busch Lights. We sitting there in a school right now. So,
I wish, yeah. I'm in a classroom. You can see the world map behind me. These are the Twin Towers right here.
Really? That's what you had to go with it? Really?
Did you come up with that, or did the last teacher use the room just have that, and you're like, screw it, we'll just leave it up?
The last teacher that had the room had it up there. I just left it up there. I was like, yeah. I was like,
if you took it down, Sofro, he'd be the bad guy, right?
I would.
Right? All the other teachers were like, wait a minute, there's a Twin Towers there. Well, Jeff used to have that up. Whatever happened to that? What'd you do with that?
You hate 9/11, Streble. Yeah. Why did you take that down? Why are you anti Twin Towers?
Why are you anti Twin Towers?
Bin Laden, what's wrong with you?
Texter, why the hell is Rig back at school at 8 p.m.? There's just a janitor who's cleaning gum off from underneath the desk, and there's this Streble going, he's got dudes, and talking about some guy named Steve Rummage. Well, I assume you're picking up a kid who's playing basketball right now.
Kellen's right down the street. Okay. So, I got to bounce out of here about 9:20 to go pick him out. Round Daddy needs a flat earth map. You're not wrong.
It is flat against the wall. It is flat against the wall, though. It's not a globe. I did notice that. All right, so keep wanting to give the text line. We're on ESPN Louisville Plus. We'll have Gas Bags join us in just a little bit. We're trying to format it just a little bit so it's not a bunch of people going on top of each other. So you've done your show. You are Streble Thamel. You are Streble 40. You are Streble Feldman now. You showed up, actually Creighton Harley, if you know him, Crazy Creighton is taking Streble back and forth everywhere in a Lincoln Town car. He's actually getting the 37 car salute like Will Stein got when he got in Lexington. I mean, that was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
He's like, I felt like I was the president of the United States. They had explosions.
Yeah, they had everything like he was a politician, but they had 37 cars meet him at the private jet, which was amazing. It was like Biden was asleep, but he was in town, basically. I mean, that's basically what it was. So if you ever wanted to rob a convenience store in Lexington yesterday at like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock was the time to do so. So anyway, so Stein is hired. I want to talk with you, and as we go, we're bringing on people, kind of what you think. Good, bad. I mean, I obviously Stoops is gone, and we can dive into that. And then I think as well here, sooner rather than later, Streble, I think we need to dive into the comments from Mitch Barnhart as well. Mitch Barnhart defiant today after kind of the assembled media, defiant today about the NIL standard at Kentucky and saying that he's basically, we'll play the sound in a few minutes, that he's tired of hearing about it. Of course, Mitch Barnhart never does a press conference, so go figure. So let's get into that in a minute, but your thoughts. Why do you think he can succeed? What does he need to do first? What do you make of, I don't know. I feel like the last couple of years we've all talked about Will Stein, but now it's come to fruition that he's a head coach there in Lexington.
Well, something that Mitch Barnhart said that really kind of took me aback, because it's not been him, is he was like, I want a guy that takes risks. I want a guy that takes calculated risks and risk-win football games, because he's been so safe as an athletic director. I mean, you look at the hires, you look at how he's operated. He's been kind of slow to adapt to things.
And that was Stoops, by the way, until the last couple of years. Like Stoops was safe. He'll get you 7 wins, right? He'll have a big win a year. He'll beat Louisville. He'll get you 7 wins.
Well, even he said, like, you can't win games 21-17 in modern college football anymore. And that's what Stoops' modus operandi was for such a long time. Play defense, keep the ball on offense for long periods of time, put points up when you can. And that just wasn't getting it done. The modern college football era, you have to have offenses that can push the ball down the football field, throw vertically, and Stoops just hasn't ever been that.
Stoops he couldn't do anything, Streble. Sorry to cut. I'm just trying to, to make this. I know we have a little bit of a delay. I'm trying to make this as much as like a radio show as possible. I have my nice little radio. By the way, I'm in a bunker. My house at Indy was awesome, and I had like bourbon, and I had like in here. I just have like a white background that looks like a lair. And like Kevin Hale's lair. So I got to start putting stuff behind. I got to start putting stuff behind me, candles. Especially if I'm going to, candles or something. It wasn't that like Mark Stoops was unlike other. How inept he was at offense was unlike anything else, right? Yeah. It wasn't just. Well, he doesn't have a quarterback. Well, he didn't have a quarterback, and then he quit having a great running game on top of it. And so then you can't play action. You can't do anything.
Yeah, when his offensive line fell apart, after years of the big blue wall, and if you want to have a good running game, that's where you need to start. And they just haven't had that. With Zach Yinser, he wasn't good. Wolford, he left. He brings him back. He's supposed to be able to build the big blue wall through the transfer portal with Shiaz Pete, Jagger Bird at center. They were terrible all year. Somehow Wolford finds his way on the Lane Kiffin staff in LSU. This dude just goes ahead and just gets jobs. I don't know what he's supposed to be. This great recruiter. He got nobody at Kentucky. I mean, he got absolutely nobody at Kentucky. He had the worst offensive line.
Oh, hang on. We got a little bit of a scuffle. Hang on, we got a scuffle. Billy Richmond, remember him? Billy Richmond.
Billy!
You remember Billy Richmond just gave Khalifa an old shot to the shoulder.
Oh, I like that. Khalifa probably his shoulder probably separated now. He's 70 years old. He plays old man basketball. You got a guy like the Billy.
He's a great passer.
Stop it.
He's a great passer. Cal sweating. The game's under 20 seconds. We'll get an update from Justin Sofra when we do that. I just
something
quickly,
that I wasn't prepared for, and that was the hatred.
I love that. I would actually hang on, Sofro. Now that I don't really know what capabilities he has, so I am fine at any point while anyone is talking. Okay, it doesn't matter what's being said. Okay, unless it's like a great moment, like read the room a little bit. But if it's just us prattling on, if it's just us prattling, Will Stein this and he averaged 419 yards. If we're just doing that, if we're doing quarterback talk, and you're like, you know what? Here's a funny Kenny Payne clip. I'm fine with that dropping from the heavens, right? I'm fine. Or coming out of the radio hell, out of the ground, and seeping into the broadcast. Either way is fine. I have no problem with either one. I'll say this: I think Stein is an interesting hire that I have utterly no idea how it's going to work out. I right now I say this not against Stein. I need to see his staff a little bit.
Yeah. And
Justin Burke is fine, but Justin Burke hasn't done it at a top level either. And I need a couple coaches that are around him. I think they need a big time a defensive coordinator. I have joked on my show that it would be funny if they brought in for a year to stabilize things Bobby Petrino. And I actually mean that. I think it would be it would be the greatest thing of all time. It would be so many Louisville people that it would be absurd. But if Bobby just grabbing Mark Blankenbaker before the game and shaking him in front of William McDermott, in front of the photographers, would be great cinema. Diener's back there. Diener walks away. He Blank's being shaken, and Diener's like, I don't want any part of that. Obviously, Bobby would go after Ennis first, but Ennis may not be on the field, so it'll probably just be Mark Blankenbaker. But I feel like, in all seriousness, he needs some veteran presence next to him, and then I think he needs a defensive coordinator that we don't have to totally be like not knowing what he can do. And because Will Stein is going to be very young at this. The one thing I will say is I think he'll clean up the offense immediately. Stoops, it's not like all of his defenses have been great, right? So it's not like he's shutting down everybody. And then I do think the thing that he will do, and I will be disappointed if Stein doesn't do this, is clean up in-game nonsense with Kentucky football. End of half stuff, knowing when to challenge, knowing when to use a timeout, knowing when to kick a field goal, knowing when to gamble and not gamble. Mark Stoops never had a good feel for that up until the very end. Up until this season, he still didn't have that. So, to me, I think Will Stein will lack, obviously, in the rah-rah stuff. I mean, that Lamar Jackson game at Cardinal Stadium where dude's throwing the L's down and Stoops is walking out. It's like, you may not get that from Will Stein, but it is a trend at times. If you can't get an established guy, that even in the NFL, you go with a coordinator who's a younger guy, who's, you would hope, on the uptick. So I think there's a lot of good, but I don't want to say I'm skeptical. I just, there's a lot to do here. There's a lot to do. This team is really devoid of talent right now.
Well, I mean, I think skepticism is the right approach to having this. I'm happy with the hire. I'm happy with, him being young and innovative and willing to take risk and willing to not sit back and wait and watch, things matriculate around him. And he made that very clear that they will be at the forefront of changes in the college football landscape. But I do like your point of, and I said this last night on Twitter because I saw your tweet, getting a veteran staff around him, because this is an enormous task on his hands. You're going into the SEC at a traditional SEC doormat, and you can say, like he did today, I want to win right away. This is not a 5-year plan or a 10-year plan. I want to go out there and win right away. Well, that's going to be really, really hard to do, because as you stated, they don't have a ton of talent on this team as it is today. When all the recruiting stuff was done, I believe their class ended up like 67th or 70th, something in those ranges. So it's not like they're bringing in this recruiting hole to kick things off. He didn't have time to do that. He's going to have to be smart in the portal. And I'm skeptical too. I'm happy with the hire. I like Will Stein. He's a breath of fresh air. He's something completely different from Mark Stoops. But I'm not going to sit here and think that playing Alabama and playing Florida and playing LSU, and they have a murderer's row schedule. Oh, and by the way, they have Louisville again at the end of the season, and pretend like, oh yeah, he's just go out there and just go 7-5 right away, and it's going to look great. He's going to score a bunch of points. There's going to be games where they're going to be throwing interceptions, and it's going to get ugly, and it's going to get out of hand. But he's going to get the grace to grow into the job. A little grace, a little gratitude, but he'll be able to grow into the job. And I don't think
hang on, Sofro, drop us that from heaven. I heard Kenny Payne sneak into there. Sneak in.
I'm not going to let you blame me.
That's what Will Stein's going to say. It's year zero for Will Stein. It's year zero, Andy. He doesn't get his guys in yet.
It is your Nikki DeBoot asked me how many they win. I said, well, look, that schedule also is just brutal. I mean, the schedule is brutal. I do love that the time that they have the least bye games is like Stoops doesn't have to do the 9 SEC games. He got out. He got out. It was going to be his number one thing that was going to kill him, and it never killed him. He got killed before it killed him. That's what happened.
He would have lived in. This is the toughest schedule that I've ever seen, and you know how hard this is. This is hard. This is really hard every week to go out and play in this league and have to play these types of teams. I mean, y'all want to do this?
It is hard.
I was about to say, there's a janitor walking by, and there's a guy going, "It's hard. It's hard." He's looking into a webcam. He's laid in an empty school wearing all BBN gear.
That's right. It's beer 30. It's beer 30 in the bluegrass, Andy.
Somebody, I think it was Blankenbaker. Here's Sofro. Ascend from the heavens, Sofro, for a second, and you need to hear this. That is there. Oh, there's TJ Walker, the sports talker. I like that. I believe and I don't know if this is totally Blankenbaker, but Mark Blankenbaker, I believe, bought a shirt, a Hope for Pope or Hope with Pope or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's been sitting in the back for a while.
I didn't know that.
We were doing coaches' corners, and I don't think Blank would go like that far. Well, he might go that far, but I don't think when it comes to buying Kentucky stuff, I don't know. But it's been sitting in the back, I think, since he got hired. And I tried to put into a coach's corner behind Lieberman, but that was a little too crass for him. He didn't like that. He thought the Louisville, the powers that be may shine at it a little bit. Yeah,
clean it up. This is coach's corner. Clean it up. We don't need this Mark Pope crap here. Clean it up. Clean it up, Sofro.
When I walked into the studio this afternoon, that Hope for Pope shirt was pinned on the wall,
right,
in the producer's room, and then there was an autographed photo with a Bible verse of Mark Pope sitting at the microphone.
Joshua 1:9. That was in my office for some reason. It was Joshua 1:9, and I meant to grab the Razorback, whatever they had, because obviously this is, it's a Kentucky Super Bowl. It's team number 2, right? It's like having a second team, right? It's like some of these, it's like Entz with the soccer teams. He's got several teams all over the world. So if one fails him, he'll just pivot to the team in Italy. Then he'll go to England. Then it'll be Team USA. And then it'll be Lou City. And then it'll be Racing Lou. And it'll, then be Arsenal. He'll just have 7 or 8 of them. TJ Walker joins us.
I know what that looks like. I know what that smells like. I know what that feels like.
There we go. We'll get Sofro's thoughts as Louisville's down by damn near 20 at halftime. I feel like I have to call him the sports talker, so I will. TJ Walker, also not only his own show, but does the Bud Light postgame show here on 680. TJ, what's going on, man? How are you?
Happy Wednesday evening, fellas. How are you all doing?
What are y'all
drinking?
Well, I'm drinking Busch Light. Streble's in his school classroom right now, as you can see by the world. He's got the world map, and he's got the World Trade Center behind him.
So you got your World Trade Center picture? I've got mine up right there. Where's yours, Sweeney?
Oh,
I don't have.
Oh wow, like TJ does.
That's actually pretty good.
If you don't have Twin Towers in your radio backdrop, then what are you even doing? Sweeney, you don't have the Twin Towers? Do you not care about our country?
Mine got broken in the move. And so they're cracked, and so I'm getting it looked at. I'm getting it rematted. Actually, is what's going on right now. Can I play for you? Well, let's do this. Let's play the NIL stuff in a second, Sofro. I want TJ's initial thoughts just on the hire. I assume you saw or at least heard some of today, the press conference, and then I do want to get to Peepaw, Mitch Barnhart talking about NIL, but just your initial thoughts on, the last 48 hours or so.
I was surprised how quickly it moved. I'm with you all. I listened to a little bit before I hopped on. I have no idea if he's going to be successful at Kentucky or not. It's a tough place to win, and Kentucky's tried to do the offensive thing before. It's been fun, but it didn't amount to great long-term success. So Will Stein does have his work and his word cut out for him. His back's going to be against the wall. But the good news is UK fans, I can't speak for every Kentucky fan, but if they go 5-7 next year, which is the same record they had this year, I don't think fans are going to be all that livid about it. People are going to be okay with UK not winning a lot of games with the tough schedule next year, as long as the offense looks good, as long as we have a dream of having a good quarterback, actually being able to trust a quarterback. Kentucky fans are going to be okay with 2026 featuring maybe more losses than wins, although it'd be great if that didn't happen. We just need to see some life offensively. It was a long 13 years of knowing exactly what you were getting on that side of the ball, and it sucked. It sucked. It wasn't fun. So even if it's not great from a wins-loss standpoint, it's just going to be more exciting. So that's better. That's better than the alternative.
Texas says Andy has his blue shirt on. I do have a blue shirt. It's that Nike. How you like that? I do love, who was it? It was a sea of blue. It was Dylan Ballard today, who I've never met, but I imagine him looking like Streble on a sea of blue. And he did ask Will Stein about his Jordan collection. Did you guys happen to see that?
I did hear that. Will Stein was like, I wasn't much of a shoe guy until I got to Oregon. And by the way, Dylan Ballard's, I don't say this normally, much better looking than I am. He doesn't look anything like me. Oh, my God. He's got great hair.
God. Really?
He's got a great beard. He's a young guy. He's swagged out. Shout out Dylan Ballard.
Is he really?
Stomping ground the Sea of Blue.
Wow.
Who is the best looking guy in UK media right now? Who is the best looking guy?
I go with Dylan. He's a young guy. Daryl Bird looked great today, though. He's got the fountain of youth. The hair was going. He had a vest on. Daryl Bird looked really, really good today. He might be number 2.
Hang on,
I'll tell you. Crack the top 5?
No,
yes.
No. But I will say, I said on my show that, okay, Vince Marrow had his phone taken away from him for months. Okay, he hasn't tweeted anything. I don't know if he's tweeted anything. He hasn't tweeted anything of substance. And then finally the time that it's like, okay, we're all going to take our belts off or we're going to whip the ground. Like, it's over. It's the Governor's Cup. He finally has the shackles fall off of his iPhone. Okay. And the first thing he does is tweets at Nick Roush. That is Dylan Ballard right there.
Yes, Dylan Ballard.
I think you need 2 divisions or 2 or 3 divisions, age divisions. But guys, and I know TJ's your former partner and everything, but he on the radio, not that they're lovers. If they were, it wouldn't be a big deal. It would just crack the mind of BBN all over the country and the Commonwealth. But Governor Bashir would be like, "Can we get you on? Can you hit the next campaign trail?" Anyway,
come on by the podcast.
Come on in for the podcast, you two. Okay, wear your vest. Come on in here. Wear the loafers. But I mean, Roush won. That Vince Marrow went before he went after everyone in KSR except for Matty Bangs. Okay, he tweeted Roush first. And to me, Roush, besides some of the Louisville players, to me, Nick Roush won the weekend, guys, by having Big Dog tweet him first after having the shackles on his phone for the better part of 3 or 4 months.
See, he thought that he got Nick Roush, that he did a little burn on Nick Roush, but I think you're right. It gave Nick all the attention in the world. He's like, Big Dog, I'm on Big Dog's mind. We're out there putting belt to ass, as the kids say. And like you said, the Bronx.
Vince has been steaming.
Put the belts up. Don't do that.
Vince saw it and steamed for 3 months for 90. Go ahead, TJ.
An underrated part about all of this, it is super embarrassing for the little pup, but let's not forget the man that he tweeted, hello, Nick Roush, the man that he tweeted is his boss's cousin.
Yeah, well,
Nick Roush is cousins with Jeff Brom. So this whole feud is with the boss's cousin. That's your, what are you doing, dude?
By the way, here's this might not work. I'm trying to get it. I have a picture of it's just not going to work, of Keith Farmer, who's looking good today. Keith Farmer's looking good today.
At the press conference. Will Stein took a bit of a shot at Keith Farmer. He said it's like shaving. You get up every day and you shave, and if you don't, you look like shit. And Keith Farmer, he's got the beard going on right now. And he had an exclusive one-on-one interview right before Will Stein went on stage. So he must have been thinking about crappy facial hair. And speaking of such, Sweeney, what's up?
Yeah.
That's actually pretty good. I can never connect right here. That's my big issue.
Oh, I can connect. I need to get it. Shaped up, if you will. My biggest problem is right here. The upper mustache gets a little thick, and I'd like to.
It's unfortunate that we're talking about this right now.
Hang on. Before we get this NIL sound, let's bring Sofro from the heavens again. Justin Sofro in his lair. Yeah, descend to us, Almighty God. Where are you with the Cards right now at halftime? Louisville trails. Hang on. Excuse me. Louisville trails 47-29 right now.
Did you like the taste in your mouth? Let's get that taste back in our mouth.
Now here's the thing. I guess I don't know what I was expecting. I've always had this kind of feeling, and it's been fun. It's been nice to be able to laugh at BBN and laugh at Mark Pope, because that's the guy who should be leading your team right now. The guy who's whipping our ass back and forth with 5-star players, getting everybody he wants, not crying in front of a microphone, not mopey Pope going so sad because I feel bad. Again, Kenny Payne, if he would have acted like this, it would have been great, because he should feel fucking bad for how he did at the University of Louisville, going 4-28, winning 8 games the next season. I need some mope from that guy. You got Mark Pope, and this is what you got. You could have had
Why
him.
Why are you crushing Pope? I ask you about the
I'm
game.
deflecting. I am deflecting. I'm angry right now because I have to watch this bullshit right now. I'm sick of it. Every time we play John Vincent Calipari, this shit happens, and I'm sick of it. I don't know what to tell you. He won't go away. I've always hated Cal. I hated him at Memphis, and he's a disease. He's a cancer. How did they line this up? How is it Louisville versus Arkansas? I wonder how that got arranged. Anyway, that's all. I'm not happy.
We did this on a couple nights ago, and he got mad at everyone. He's like, if we curse, we get in, we can't do this or we can't do that if we curse. And he just dropped 3 or 4 right there in 2 minutes. Go ahead, TJ. And then go ahead and let's cue that NIL sound here in just a second. Go ahead, TJ. Go ahead. Sorry.
A couple things. Justin, can you just come in at a different angle anytime you pop in? Like, we just have to guess if you're coming in from
Great
bottom
question.
right. Or the old DVD thing that would like hit the corners.
I can do that. I can do that. Yeah, I'll bring the voice of God in, and then
And if you're Calipari, right? This is a no-brainer. You've got this game in hand. You get your ass tossed. You get the double T, and you let Kenny Payne coach this game out, right? How amazing and how beautiful would that be?
Listen, I said today, what's going to happen is if Arkansas wins, Cal will praise Louisville, okay, because Rick's not there. He will and Mac. He will praise Louisville, I think, but he also will take a shot somewhere along the line. And then I expect, again, if they win, and it's 18 points right now, that you get some sort of a Gatorade bath for Kenny Payne, and the Arkansas, social media trolls put that out by the morning. And at that point, I'm worried about Ethan Moore. At that point, I'm legitimately worried about Ethan Moore.
That's my first effort at it. Real quick.
Yeah.
I just want to let you all know after that, I just got a text from my wife saying, "Are you okay? I heard screaming." so I've already disrupted. 3 children are no longer sleeping. And so, yeah, that's what we get. That's what we get for this. So anyway, you just let me know when you want that other sound.
Here's why, real quick, I want to say one thing that we can play the Barnhart sound, because I think it is really good sound. He is very angry. Here's what I want to happen. Like Pat Kelsey, when last year they beat a non-tournament Virginia team or a non-tournament Virginia Tech team, and they would have the locker room celebration where Pat Kelsey comes in and he's doing the Pinocchio, and they're pulling.
He did the Tyrone Biggums. It was Tyrone Biggums, wasn't it? Isn't that what they did? Tyrone Biggums.
Or like he's doing the Bernie when he beat Mark Pope. I need Kenny Payne doing some clown dance. You know what I'm saying? Some clown dance in the locker room celebration, and then the Arkansas to put that, because Pat Kelsey, he whoops up on some bum and he turns into Michael Jackson, and he's doing the moonwalk, and he's doing this and he's doing that. That's what I want Kenny Payne to do. I want Kenny Payne to dance on his ass. I want Kenny Payne in that locker room doing the double shuffle. That's what I want Kenny Payne to do, and I need Arkansas to put that out. I'm retweeting that 700 times, and I'm playing all.
We didn't shoot it well from 3. I think we were 2 for 20. Don't care.
The man's a machine. I will say that I feel like it's halftime and the Louisville can hit threes and the money could be touched a little bit. You know how Cal teams can just dribble the ball around and not score and miss a bunch of 14-foot jump shots. All right, so we're going to have other people trickle in here. Andy Sweeney below me, TJ Walker. It's kind of an odd way to say that. Next to me, James Streble. So on the screen there, this is only about a minute or so. So Mitch Barnhart met with the media after. He had like a 4 or 5 minute introduction that, blah, 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 Will Stein. And then he had about a 10-minute press conference. If you're a Kentucky fan, you should go back and watch it. If you're a Louisville fan, it's people being mad. And we might not, TJ, you know this, you might not hear from Mitch Barnhart in front of the microphones for 2 years. It could be a year or so, unless Kentucky wins some sort of championship, then he may show up. So this is Mitch Barnhart's, only about a minute or so, was asked about, do you have the money? Do you have the NIL money to compete in the SEC? Obviously something we've all talked about. Go ahead.
We're confident in what we're doing, John. And people have asked that question 19 different ways from all the stuff that's been going on, and it's exhausting. Enough about have we got enough? We've got enough. and we're working at it just like everyone else is working at it. We're no different. Everybody will JMI. They've got Learfield. They've got Learfield. We've got JMI. They've got Learfield. They've got Playfly. So this notion that we don't have enough is ridiculous. We've got enough. We've got to resource it the right way. We've got to assess talent the right way. We've got to acquire it the right way. And we've got to make sure we're within the boundaries and the rules. We're not going to break the rules. That's flat out. We're not doing that. All right? We will do it the right way. We don't need to do that. We're good enough at what we do. We've got good people. That's why we hired this guy. He's really smart. Really smart. He's put together a really good game plan of how they're going to do it. And they've in the first day, they've made some really nice adjustments to what we're doing. And we'll be fine. But that notion of all this nonsense that's been created, variety of places, that we don't have enough or we're not working at it, has got to stop. It's enough.
All right, so that's pretty. That's pretty strong. So Streble, let's. I guess I'll traffic cop it here. I have obviously a few thoughts. Streble, your thoughts hearing that?
Well, here's the thing. He can get mad and lash out or crash out, as TJ said, but for years, all we've heard from Mark Stoops is that they don't have enough. He complained about it all the time. We need to pony up. Y'all need to pony up. We need more. I have to go and do these meetings and these dinners, and I don't want that to be a part of my job. I just want to coach football. It's coming from your head coach that you don't have enough, Mitch. It's not the media. It's not TJ or me or Andy or Alan Cutler that are going out there and saying that Kentucky doesn't have enough NIL. Your head football coach said it for 4 damn years, that we don't have enough, and it's hard and it's difficult to get money in this league, and we don't have the resources of Alabama and Georgia and LSU and all these other ones. So he can get mad all he wants. The only person he needs to look at is himself and his former head coach. That's where the narrative came from. It didn't come from the media. It came from you and your head football coach.
TJ, go ahead. Have you heard? Had you heard that,
like
TJ? Have you seen that?
I did.
Okay.
I did, but I didn't see the video. I didn't get to see how animated he was. I just heard the audio. That is a crash out, and it's a don't protest too much situation. Listen, we don't question if Georgia football has enough money or not enough money. We know they have enough money, and I'm sorry, when we look at UK's roster, it's fair to question if you have enough money. That team was not good. They did not have, that was not a lot of talent assembled. And I think a part of that was everybody knew Stoops and that staff was on their way out and didn't want to commit to him. And I get that, but it's fair to look at some of the rosters in the SEC, look at Kentucky's roster and question the money. And Sweeney, you referenced it a bit earlier. You know, maybe if you talked more than just once a year, we'd have a better understanding of the nil situation. And you nailed it, Streble. When you've got Stoops complaining about it for 4 years, yeah, it's fair to wonder if we've got enough money to compete with the biggest of the big dogs. And then what was the weird rant about cheating? Hey, Mitch, nobody brought up cheating. Nobody mentioned that you may be cheating. What was that all about, you weirdo? And secondly, maybe do cheat. Everybody else is doing it, so maybe you should do it. That whole thing, he just seemed to really get bothered by that. And it almost, it's a don't protest too much situation. I've never been more concerned about UK's nil than after that quote.
Yeah, it's interesting.
There are no heroes in this.
I wish I could. By the way, while we're doing this, Indiana trails Minnesota with under 8 minutes to go, which would be a funny thing for Jack Grossman. So I there's no way I could disagree with either one of you. He's protesting. He is. It doesn't make me feel better. The Mark Stoops stuff is 100%. I mean, I know the media attaches themselves to it, but when he doesn't talk about things like this, you know, NIL has been the hottest topic for years in college athletics, whether it be through the school or through through a shady third vendor or however you do it. It's been one of the main conversations. I'll 2 things on that. Number one, so I'd agree with everything you guys say. Just to add something to the conversation, he mentioned allocation of funds, how we allocate funds. And, you know, Louisville's probably like Kentucky in that you have money, but you can't miss on a bunch of free agents like in the NFL, right? If you litter your team with free agents and you pay them a lot of money and they aren't any good, you're not going to be any good. And, they gave Zach Calzada a lot of money last year. Yeah. Louisville gave Miller Moss a lot of money last year. Louisville gave Isaac Brown, and while he's a great player, he doesn't play, nearly half the season. It feels like he's injured. Well, that affects things. And when you when you miss on guys in the portal, which you're going to, but you miss on a quarterback specifically that you're paying a lot of money to, I think yes, obviously Kentucky has been behind in football NIL. And then on top of it, when you're behind a little bit and you don't allocate your funds and Mark Stoops plays games where the margins are so small anyway, you throw all of that and you lose a guy like Dane Key, who's like your guy. Yeah. You know, I'm using him as an example, but he was a Kentucky guy. And then the other thing he mentioned, and this is where Matty Bangs, I saw in others kind of throw this out there, and you guys would know more than I. You know, I was gone for a couple years, so, you know, he mentioned very demonstratively JMI and Learfield. You know, Learfield's on Louisville, and it's players. I forget the other one that's emerged. There's like a third rights group that's emerged, like especially with me. Yeah, that's it. You know, they moved a lot of their NIL or a lot of it to JMI, and I'm not sure exactly we all know what that means. Does that make sense? Dude, does anybody know what that means? What exactly is going on? And to me, that would be, instead of a release, that would be upon, you know, there'd be fireworks going off. This great deal that's going to be great for Kentucky. So you guys hold your thoughts on that. We have two headliners who are joining us, and I don't know how Sofro is going to do this. We have Anna Terillo, who I thought had a life, who apparently doesn't. And so here she is on a Wednesday. So do you want to bring Anna in?
Give me 1 sec. We got Zach ready. Anna came in right after. So if you want to do Zach first, and then I'll work Anna.
No, even better.
Anna, sit down. It's Zach Cantrell time. And then I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. She knows I'm kidding with her. I hope she knows I'm kidding. Yes. All right. We'll get him in. Let me do my magic, and I'll make sure everybody can fit in this thing.
Anna, just a quick cold cut, and then I'm sure we could probably fit you in. No, I'm going to get out of here soon, and so I can make room for Anna and Zach.
Okay, well, hang on. Before you leave, I want Zachy C in my
Zach
picture.
Seated it to Anna. He seated it to Anna. So he's going to wait. He's going to wait.
Okay.
He's going to be a gentleman.
Okay. He's a gentleman. If Zach Cantrell, first things first, he is a gentleman.
There's Anna.
There he is. What's going on? Look at you two in your blue.
Cantrell.
TJ, what's up? I'm just realizing TJ Walker, the sports talker, that's the first time we ever met. Was that live we did the other Sunday?
Well, so we haven't really met.
Yeah, so it was virtual, but now we know each other. But what's up, y'all? Look at Andy in his blue. How are you shocked that I don't have a life? Have you seen how much I tweet? Why do you think I have a life?
Well, what's behind you? Are those diplomas?
Diplomas. Ignore them. They're not mine. There's a sleeping saint. This is my patron saint. We got a Pistol Pete. But I love this guy. This is me.
Where are your twin towers? Where are the World Trade Centers?
Yeah, TJ and I had the World Trade Centers behind us.
Streble's in his school right now.
Yeah. Ominous.
On the other wall, he has a Sir Charles Barkley where he's backing down Kevin Willis. That's like something that my social studies teacher had. We'll get TJ out of here in a second. I forget what I was going to even ask Anna. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Anna wants to do a podcast, and this has made my Kentucky buddies very upset. Anna, you need to know this, okay? You know who they are, TJ. You had a beer with him in Streble, Tank the Stank. He's not happy right now about this. And that is, you said you wanted to do a podcast with Will Stein's wife and Mark Pope's wife. And
I don't think I ever said that. Did I say that? Maybe I did.
Well, maybe you did. I want that podcast to happen. What would be the name of that podcast?
Oh, I'm just not finding out about it. I don't know. So I don't know. I have no idea.
Now we can talk like Riley Gaines.
Ask me that. Let the creative juices flow. I'm gonna have to think about. I'll tell you Friday on Streble. That's when I will unveil the podcast. And I'm just finding out. I'll tell you Friday on the show. We're always breaking news on the round table. So that's
we are.
I heard now. I love Streble that Sofro was from the heavens with a Riley Gaines. A good line that Anna didn't hear, but a good line nonetheless. Look at how happy he is with his little sweater about that. TJ, last thoughts before we get Money Cantrell in here, and you can go back to doing whatever the Walkers do at 8:46 on a Wednesday night.
They fought their balls off. I hate to say it like that. Excuse me.
I actually am doing appraising work, as sad as that is, we're going to Nashville tomorrow. So I'm taking a little vacation. I'm paying money to watch this terrible Mark Pope basketball team in person. I know, totally devastating, but excited to go to the Gaylord Opry and do a little Christmas activities with the kiddos. So that'll be fun. What was your last question?
That was it. There was nothing. If you had any final thoughts, that sounds like a good final thought at the Opry Hotel.
Yeah, no, final thoughts are this. Sweeney, you're just a lightning rod of fun. And when you had left for a little bit, we were missing some fun and silliness and shenanigans in this town.
Thank you.
And it was like the day you returned, it was just like, people were able to kind of smile and not take themselves so seriously. So thank you for doing that and for being you. And you and Streble have such a good rat-a-tat. It's so funny, you two together. So glad that you invited me on. Anna, you are a good social media friend. I look forward to meeting in person at some point. But thank you all for having me on. You all do great stuff at ESPN 680. And I'll maybe watch, probably won't, but we'll check out the podcast for sure. You all have a great evening.
Hi, TJ. I appreciate it, buddy. TJ. All right, there he goes, TJ Walker. By the way, Indiana trails by 9 right now with 4:50 to go in the game. Mighty Minnesota on the road. Look at him. My God. Look at there he is. Zachy C, I need
one thing
from
everybody?
You have sunglasses? I want the sunglasses indoors. Put them on.
I do, actually. I had them ready to go.
You damn right he does.
Off to the side. Yes. Yeah,
I do. He looks great. He looks fantastic. Who is that? Is that Woody Hayes behind you?
Yeah, they're supposed to say on air, actually, but...
No, you can't see it. It's okay. You guys can
read that. But, the light's on, for effort over here.
Who else is back there? Is that Maurice Claret? Who else is back there? Is that Troy Smith?
No, that's Malcolm Jenkins. He played in the NFL for a long time. I wish it was Troy Smith. He won a Heisman. Well, don't worry. We'll have another Heisman winner in about a week or so.
I don't know, and this is a dynamic. If Cantrell does bring a young lady back to the lair and says that's a Malcolm Jenkins signed picture, don't worry. He spent a decade in the NFL.
We didn't have the tights that he wanted, so he didn't know if he wanted to play.
This Kenny Payne's being dropped. Let's do this. Anna, go ahead. I mean, we've talked about the NIL quote from Mitch. I do want to get into Boley here in a second with you knuckleheads. And I don't know. We've just talked the good, the bad with Will Stein, and just everything in between. So your opinion, Anna, on what has happened in the last 48 hours?
Yeah, I guess I'll just start with the presser today. It was very exciting. I am a little bit hesitant on saying the right things at pressers. We've seen how that's turned out with Mark Pope so far, so I'm not going to get overly excited about that. But it just all seemed very genuine. He seems like a very confident guy, which is a huge switch up from, I think, the staff that was there before, which I love. It just seems like he gets it, but he's not trying too hard. He's exactly what they needed, a young gun, an offensive mind. I think he's going to be very involved on the sideline. But my favorite part of today's presser was just him, because I think it was the most genuine, talking about being there for the Bluegrass Miracle and all these memories that he has. And I loved how there was a bunch of Cards fans on Twitter trying to debunk the fact that there was a DeMarcus Cousins poster, and Miss Debbie signed. She put that to rest and said, yeah, I'm the one who printed it out, and I laminated it, and I put it on the wall. And I think just even today, and even at the little bakery, I was telling my mom, I was like, Mom, have you heard it's Sissy's Cakes, whatever. She's like, I go there all the time. So I love that. And she had the schedules up for the UK. She said she used to actually say Go Cats during Will's Louisville game. So I just love that. It just seemed very authentic, and I think it brought it all together when Will Stein was talking about his memories of being at these games and even reconnecting with some of the former UK players like Randall Cobb and Tim Couch and Jacob Tammy. I don't know. It just feels like it finally feels like he's really there. And it's crazy because being from Louisville, knowing so many people that know him. Like I know the girl who was trying to get his wife's outfit together for her and was bringing it down to Lexington. It's like a Louisville Catholic school guy is.
Well, hang on. Hey, hang on. I love that Anna knows that. And the last 3 people who would know that would be the 3 people. Actually, if you invite Sofro from the heavens again, the 4 people who would not know that would be us. By the way, Louisville down to 14. Down to 14 with 14 to play. So Sofro.
I thought I was going to be for the Cards, but I'm not at all.
Well, here's
how are we not winning that game.
Here's the thing as well, Anna.
I was going to say KP's coaching the second half. That's why they're rallying back here.
Yeah. And I would say that it's funny at the station right now. You have Diener, he cheers for people, not laundry. Okay, that's his thing. Okay,
yep.
So Nick Valvano doesn't do laundry, but Diener cheers for the laundry and not the person.
I love that.
And so he is like hoping, besides the Louisville game, that Will Stein does well. Blank is torn. Yeah. Oh, yeah, very much so. Streble knows this. Blank is torn. Yeah. Blank loves Will Stein and is not happy about any of this. So he's not going to badmouth him. He's not going to, he's just in a tough spot. He's in the middle. Okay. And then Creighton is the opposite way. He's like, I want Will Stein to go 2-10 and get his bleep shoved in the Governor's Cup. And so right now you have the Diener show is in flux. You have producer versus VP with Blank and Baker wearing Ralph Lauren in the middle. That's basically what you have.
He was in Highlights magazine, so we got to respect him. But I think I would be like a Creighton. But honestly, I think I had a tweet that was inspired by Blank recently that was like, I love how much this is pissing off U of L fans that they're the higher. And it's not pissing us off. What do you mean it's pissing us off? We're not pissed off that Will Stein is there. Okay, cool. You can keep telling yourself that. But Blank was they're like, tell me one person who's pissed. I was like, Mark Blankenbaker, even though I love him to death. Streble, I cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I was just
There's so much negativity. How do you deal with it? How does I get my son to deal with all this negativity from the media, from social media, from everywhere we turn? There's all this negativity about this program. And I just tell him, you have to be like me.
How do I get Zan Payne to deal with this negativity, my son? How do I get Zan
Payne? Like me. Like he's Jesus. You have to be like
shoulder this burden.
No, what I was saying is I was listening to Creighton this morning. He's like, I want him to go, 2-9, and then Jeff Brom to end him, and I'll be smiling. I'll be smiling when that happens. I'll be so happy. And Diener was like, he's like, really? He's like, Creighton, he's like, are you really gonna do that? Blake's like, I don't know what to do. The boss says to not be mean to Will Stein, but I kind of want to be Creighton since he's the new sheriff, and I want to get my badge back. I don't know what to do here.
No, here's the problem. Here's the problem. Will Stein and Anna, come on, you know this, that Will Stein, he and his family know enough people that are in circles that Blank wants to be in.
Yep.
That if you know what I'm saying, that he can't badmouth that, because that's a good social circle for him to be in, but he's also supposed to be the sheriff, and that's when that runs together. This is what you get, and Will Stein has absolutely done that.
Listen, heavy is the crown.
With Will Stein, Blank is bragging about having one-on-one meetings and talks with Jennifer Lawrence's mother. Will Stein has pictures with Jennifer Lawrence, with her. Yeah. And he knows Katie George. He's got pictures with Katie George when they were little kids. And Andy, you nailed it. That picture of J-Law that Will Stein has, Blake's like, well, I can't badmouth him that much. I mean, I'm friends with Jennifer Lawrence's mother now. She has me on her speed dial. We text every once in a while. He's neutered Blank. Will Stein has neutered Blankenbaker because those social circles mean more than the 502 circle. Social circle greater than 502 circle.
I would agree with that,
guys. It's almost like too close for comfort. It's like I feel like a head coach at a Power 5 school like that, it used to just feel so like a different universe that you would get not stars in your eyes, but it just feels like something unrelatable. But to know people, and it's weird for me, he's 3 years older than me. To know people who went to high school with this guy, friends with him, it's almost too weird. I'm like, not that I'm not losing respect for the position at all, but it's almost making it too close for comfort where it loses the luster. It's weird. It's taken away like the illustriousness. I don't know how to say it, but it's a little bit uncomfortable, but I think we're going to get there. We're going to get there.
Zach, you see, I'll go to you in a second. I told Nick, and I've run into this, that I'm 41 now, so I'm becoming older than these coaches. Yeah. And I told Nikki to boot, I go, you're the same age as Will Stein. and you pooped your pants a couple weeks ago. And Will Stein's an SEC coach with a family on a private jet being led through Lexington with 37 police cars. By the way, it's the under 12-minute timeout. Arkansas is up 12. Sofro has descended from the lair. I see Calipari in the background. It's a 12-point game. They're making shots. I saw McNeely just hit a turnaround jumper a second ago. Unmute yourself. You're Tim Sullivan right now.
Uh-oh.
Oh, boy.
Come on.
Oh, boy. Okay. Sorry. I hit a button. Fat fingered it. That's what happens. Yeah, not happy with the way this is going. Thought maybe PK. Well, actually, no, I really didn't expect much more out of PK. But I really not really appreciating that Kenny Payne gets to have some version of happiness right now. One thing I did want to say is that I think as soon as the news about Will Stein came out, one of my friends from my church group texted me that he used to touch on his butt a lot because he was his center for the All-Star game. And he would get a little handsy, is what he would say sometimes during that. Yeah, so sometimes that was his comment. So there you go. It's in the ether now.
What a dead fish. What a dead fish.
That's what I'm here for.
The church group. The church group. That church
I
group.
used to lead a CG, sir. I was a leader. I just sit down.
Like, don't mention our name. Leave that out. Hey, Sofro, leave that out. Yeah, I was the leader.
I go to never mind. I'm not gonna say it.
Who wants to bunk with Sofro?
The sad thing is like the sad thing is my church knows that I do this stuff, and they've listened. They've heard some of the comments I've made, and they look at me. You know, like Streble, you get this look a lot. They go, and they look at you. They're like, "I'm glad you're trying. I'm glad you're doing something." But
they bring him in. It's like you did this whole rant on this ESPN Plus thing about Riley Gaines. Maybe we could tone that down just a little bit. Would be fine. So we'll keep you abreast of that. Zachy C,
keep him out of my bathrooms.
I see the on air there. Zachy C, what is you are a football snob. You sit up on high at Ohio State, not having to worry about NIL money or if coaches leave. I'm interested. What did you think of the Brian Hartline, who now goes to South Florida, who, by the way, for him, you kill it there for 3 years, you're going to be sitting right there in the Big Ten or the SEC or something like that for a nice sized job. So that's good for him. I think he's been selective, but do you think he would have fit in well at Kentucky?
I think he would have fit in well at Kentucky. Well, first of all, we all know Blank roots for his exes, so that's the best thing about this whole thing.
Don't do it, Sofro. He's going to do it. Look at him. Look at the countdown. No, he's going to do it. There it goes. Oh, he booted. I knew he was going to do it. I knew he was going to do it. He has Malcolm Jenkins on his wall. There he is. There's Cantrell. Cantrell.
I was going to say, geez.
Hang on. It's no offense to you. While you're talking, I'm going to go get 2 more Busch Lights.
I would do the same thing if I were you. I get it. Go get your Busch Lights. I don't have any Busch Lights in my fridge. Okay, how am I supposed to top that? Anyway, no, I'm not really surprised that Brian Hartline took the South Florida job. I would actually have thought he would have done well at Kentucky because guess what? Kentucky, for the longest time, has needed somebody who actually wants to coach offense, and that is not something that they've had for the last 12, 13 years. And I know doing the last 2 years of post games, it's just a brutal team to watch. Offensively, the last 2 years, I could have probably called the plays, 90% of the time. I could have told just on I could have told on formation, oh, they're going to run left or they're going to throw a 5-yard pass. Like, I don't know if there's a program in America that was better on 3rd and 8 at throwing the ball, 3 yards. You need 8 for a first down. 3 get you closer punting position. But that was football porn for Mark Stoops. Just absolutely ridiculous. And now we actually have a coach in Lexington that will actually have the concept of a forward pass and throw the ball down the field. And we'll have Will Stein, out the playbook. Jeez, are you going to just...
Does he have a time limit on his takes?
I was going to say, what are we doing here?
I liked it, Zach. I thought you were firing away good. And I like
good,
you
Zach.
should have bulldozed through the buzzer.
I'm sorry. It was Phil Baker's idea. I'm sorry. I just threw Phil under the bus. It was his idea. I'm sorry.
Phil Baker, he's probably reading a bedtime story right now.
Real shocker, a Phil Baker idea there. But no, I think
red pajamas.
But no, I think Hartline would have worked, but I think he's in the right spot at South Florida, and I think Kentucky got their guy because I know Mark Stoops wants to talk about, I'm a Kentuckian. No. Will Stein is actually a Kentuckian. He's actually from the area. He went to Louisville, and now he's removed any sort of doubt where his allegiance is. And by the way, Card Town, it's not you. It ain't Louisville. It's Lexington, Kentucky, and he's going to take that program. And I don't know if they're going to be better next year from the win-loss standpoint, but I know they're going to be a lot more watchable. And I know that at least the games are going to be fun. It's fine if they lose 45-41 because at least the games will be entertaining as opposed to 13-7, 17-13. I mean, watching Kentucky football the last 3 years.
It's been brutal.
Oh, no, I think we're all entitled to financial compensation watching this Kentucky team play football. Well, you guys for the last 15 years and me for the last 3.
My whole life.
Yeah, the whole life. So I think Will Stein's going to work. I think being a Kentuckian, he'll get a lot of benefit of the doubt early on, and I think the team's going to be a lot more fun. So I loved all of his comments. I love the fact that my favorite part was he actually said MFer. I mean, I can't believe Mitch Barnhart hired him after he said that. I mean, Mitch probably went home and said, mother, I can't believe what he said in the press conference today. That's probably his whole story going on. Oh, mother, I can't believe he dropped the M word. I can't believe he said that. After Mark Stoops wouldn't do that, the only time he would yell is to a ref when he's down 34 points and his quarterback's trying to start a fight. I mean, what are we doing here?
That's the M word, like McDonald's. I'm just clarifying that. That's the
M word. Mother. That wasn't the bad part. That was the bad part.
No, that part's not the bad part.
So I don't know what Streble thinks about this. Me and Nick Valvano have we have had this conversation, but so I will unveil what our talk was. But and by the way, it's a 10-point game. Arkansas leads. It was down to like 5 or 6 at one point, and then they scored a couple buckets. So I mean, this is a close game. So I see Zachy C watching it. So he mentioned mother, and when I think of Mitch Barnhart, I think there's a chance that he and his wife sleep in separate beds. And okay, yeah. So I think everyone is involved. So what I want to know from Anna is Anna's thoughts is Anna's thoughts on this, because when our son's 2 years old, in those 2 years in Indy where I had a house, it was far too big to where I could, you could just go disappear and sleep. Okay. Yeah. So when we did that, now that's not the case. Okay. Now that's definitely not the case. So, and I miss that. So I am pro separate rooms as a married in the eyes of God family. So that's what I'm asking Anna Terillo.
Listen, I'm as single as you could find, okay? Not even close to married, just single. But I've always thought this. I've always thought it was weird that you sleep by. I think separate beds should be a thing. I mean, like I just always think I think it's bizarre that you do that your whole life, then all of a sudden you have to share. What is that? That's strange to me.
Thank you.
Not married. Not the best person to have.
But hang on, Streble. The two funny things is Anna advertising how single she was. By the way, it's a 7-point.
Wait, I know. I knew you were going to say that when I was halfway through the comment.
That's number one.
Being honest and authentic.
And Zachy C with his Malcolm Jenkins and Jim Tressel behind him, okaying all of that. By the way, it's a 7-point game. What do you? So
I'm feeling better. I'm feeling good about this game. We're getting back in. It's about time. Cal's gonna melt down.
He is melting. He's melting.
Hey, he's melting. He's done. He's done. Yeah. All the stuff, the negative stuff I said about PK, fake juice. I was lying. It was a joke. I was just kidding. I do just want to drop in real quick and just say, I don't know. There's something about the sanctity of the marriage bed. We're talking about church earlier. We're talking about me being a leader in my church, being an upstanding citizen of Sojourn J-Town, which I probably shouldn't have said that. But Sojourn J-Town, it's fine. It's fine. I just want you to know that there's something important. So, Streble, we were talking about this the other day. Naked and unashamed. You know what? Andy said it before about last time we were doing the live show. He talked about doing, do you leave the shirt on? No, it's important that you all share that bed. Streble, share that bed with me. Andy, share that bed with your wife.
I think Streble
share that bed with Louis. Share the Louis bed.
We know they don't have rubber bands.
We share the bed.
I had my sleep apnea mask on so I don't snore and wake her up. You know, she can have a nice sound sleep. And
does that help you that much? Does it help?
It does.
Because Big Boy probably needs it because my wife's like, you might die. And I'm like, yeah. I just, okay, I'll look into it.
It's bad for your health.
Your heart stops and you stop breathing and all this stuff. But I mean, you got to leave the opportunity open when it's there. You got to share the bed together. You know, it's difficult to be like,
yeah,
how do you feel tonight, honey? You know, you want to try State Men's Health it tonight? Like, what do we want to do? You're right there.
Well, I mean, the answer's always no if the opening's not there. There's got to be an opening.
I mean, the whole point is if you do the Tri-State Men's Health, then you disappear to your own lair. By the way, it's a 5-point game with 8:20 to go. So that's. I'm
gonna go back to watching this game and get Jeffries in here just a sec.
Throw that song out there, trick him.
So I don't know if we need to boot somebody. So Zach, you see, you'd probably be the one that's booted. Although Streble does have to leave here in a few minutes. So
like 10 minutes. I gotta go.
Yeah, so he's got like 10 minutes or so.
Yeah.
I do want to get to. I'll ask you guys this, and I'll ask Jeffries this when he joins us. Do you guys care? I won't give you my opinion, although I assume you'll know my opinion. He was asked, was Will Stein a lot about Cutter Boley?
Mm-hmm.
Do you care? Let's start with Streble, and then we'll work our way to Anna and Zachy C. Do you care if it's Cutter Boley? Does it need to be Cutter Boley? Okay, so go ahead. I mean, because I think, does he need competition for him? I mean, to me, I don't care, but what do you guys think? Go ahead, Streble.
I don't care if it's Cutter Boley or not. If Will Stein has one of his guys out there that he's coached, that he can get to transfer in there and get Cutter Boley a competition, I'm totally fine with that. To me, he's had some nice moments this season. He was good against Auburn. He was good against Florida. To me, that doesn't mean anything. Those teams stink. They don't have coaches. Well, they have coaches now, but their coaches got fired. Billy Knapp got fired midseason. Hugh Freeze got fired midseason. Look, Cutter Boley has been disastrous in 2 straight Governor's Cup games. Absolutely disastrous. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend like you have to build this team around Cutter Boley. Will Stein, if you can bring somebody in, bring somebody in. Look at this. Brown Daddy's here. Let's go.
Wow. Brown Daddy? Good Lord.
He's looking good. He's looking good. His screen was scrambled. It reminded me of Channel 71 growing up. He had a little bit of the.
That is too.
He had that Spice channel.
Squinting a little bit.
Yeah, he had that. If you
squiggly lines of music.
If you pause it at just the right time, you never know what you can see. Anna, go ahead. Just to catch you up, I mean, we've talked about NIL. Mitch Barnhart says they have enough. And obviously your thoughts, and we'll get to Jeffries, his thoughts on the hire and everything else. I do want to get to what we think Stoops is thinking through all this. So I want Streble before you leave here in the next 10, 12 minutes or so. Anna, go ahead. Cutter Boley. Does it have to be Cutter Boley? Do you care? What do you think?
If anybody's saying it has to be Cutter Boley, then you don't know ball, and I don't give a rip about your opinion. Just because he was the bright spot of last season and Stoops couldn't see that, does that mean he's some incredible talent? Go out and see a coach who's coached fantastic talent, has put talent in the NFL. Let's go out and see who he can get. I think there's some raw talent with Cutter Boley, but I don't care if he leaves. Shoot, not at all. Yeah. If anybody's saying that it should be him, then they don't know much.
Zachy C, go ahead.
Totally with Anna. If you think it has to be Cutter Boley, you're not a ball knower. I mean, Will Stein has coached 2 Heisman Trophy finalists and Bo Nix and Dylan Gabriel, and Dante Moore happens to be really good this year. That's actually what good quarterback play looks like. If Cutter Boley weren't from Kentucky, nobody would care if Cutter Boley were on the roster next year. He stunk it up in 2 Governor's Cups. He stunk it up against Vanderbilt. He had some moments this year. The Kentucky game, or the Auburn game rather, he was fine, but he still threw 2 interceptions. It's not as though Cutter outside of the Florida game was spectacular by any stretch of the imagination against anybody worth a rip. So, no, if I'm Kentucky, I'm going out. If Matt Ponatoski's the guy, or if they can go out and get another high-caliber quarterback, that's who I'm rolling with. And if I have to make a certain family in Kentucky upset, then that's the price I'm paying. Because you know what? I'm going to make a whole lot of people happy when I'm winning football games.
Double J,
we're doing something right at the West End, I'll tell you what.
Oh, is that what we're doing? wow, that's what we're doing. Listen, I can agree with all of these. I mean, I'm not married to the whole Cutter Boley thing. I mean, he played well in a few games this year, and I thought he grew, as a game manager. Can he be that explosive type quarterback that, you see with Will Stein offenses? I don't know. I think you got to bring somebody in. I mean, like you said, is it Matt Ponatoski? Is it a kid that Will Stein recruited before? Is it somebody that's on the Oregon roster now? You just never know. And I'm not going to sit here and say, hey, no, you have to run with Cutter and you can't bring anybody else in, because if you are, that's ignorant. And I think of all the people out here, I think Will Stein, with his comments earlier, I think he's ready to go, and it doesn't matter. It could be Cutter Boley, it could be Andy Sweeney, it could be Andy Tarullo. It doesn't matter. Whoever it is to win football games.
Yeah, let me touch on three things there, okay? I listen, I agree with everything you guys are saying. By the way, Streble, Indiana just lost to Minnesota, so there you go. So mighty Minnesota, that tough Big Ten, 0-1. Jackie Grossman, how does that make you feel? I believe
losses for Indiana this week.
I believe you all are right. I also believe that this is a Jefferson County, Louisville area versus the rest of Kentucky conversation. I believe that the BBN out in the state probably cares more about Cutter than us. I do think. I mean, the narrative with that press conference was, you're going to keep Cutter, aren't you? What do you think of Cutter? Hey, what about Cutter? What about Cutter? And you guys, and maybe I'm wrong, and you guys, I think, probably are a little bit different than the rest of BBN. The other thing I would say, and this is the problem with Stoops, is Stoops used to have, a defense that, Jeffries, with NFL talent, and then he would have the big blue wall, and he'd be able to run the football, and not in every game, but in a lot of games, he'd be able to dictate the pace of the game. Doesn't mean you always win, but he could drag you into Stoops football. And he did that, and he got wins, and he kept games against Georgia and other places close. So the reason I bring that up is, I think, Stein, this is his thing. You got to let Stein cook. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to believe that whoever Stein has at quarterback is the absolute best opportunity to win the game. Whether that's Cutter, whether that's somebody else, whether it's the recruit they brought in. To me, how bad the room has been, I think you bring in somebody as well. I don't think it's Cutter and then just nothing else. I think you have to have a freshman. They're going to have that. I think Cutter Boley comes back. That's great. I hope it works out. I have nothing against the kid. If it works out, that's great. He redshirted, so he still has a lot of time. If he were to leave, even after this year, he would still have a lot of time to play college football. But I think you also need to bring in someone who's a little bit of your guy. And if that guy ends up playing, he ends up playing. If he doesn't, he doesn't. How many times do you need a backup quarterback? We've seen it. We've seen it Kentucky and Louisville. You need a backup quarterback. Last year, Indiana, Curtis Rourke got injured for a couple games, and they had to go to a backup quarterback. So, to me, you got to let this guy do what he does. You have to let him do what he does. By the way, it's an 8-point game with 6.5 to go. That's where it is. So I think that's the Boley conversation. Jeffries, did you get your sweatshirt the other day, by the way? Is that it? Did you get that?
No, I didn't. I got to come in. I guess I got to come in and get it tomorrow because, of course, I was late yesterday. And I think your office was all locked up, so I didn't get to get it.
It wasn't locked up.
No, well, it was dark.
Oh.
I didn't try.
It's not a haunted house
to undo it.
It's not a haunted house. Before Streble's got to go here.
Streble, you never know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's a good point. What was the weird Wednesday today? By the way, heard it had something to do with concentration camps.
Yeah, it was confirmed in Argentina that the angel of death, Joseph Mengele, did escape Germany and did live out the rest of his life in Argentina.
Really? That's not surprising.
Yeah. But my whole thing was there were also rumors that Adolf Hitler also escaped, that it was a body double that was killed in the bunker. And there was a compound in Argentina, and that locals said they would see him walking around the compound. So that was the gist of Weird Wednesday. So, yeah, it was a good one. Ennis was disgusted. He walked by, and he looked at Tanner and said, what the F is he talking about?
I don't want to hear that from Angus. He should be happy that Jeff Brom's at Louisville. Even though I don't think Jeff Brom was ever going to Penn State, I don't believe that Penn State was okay, here's all the NIL money and $10.25 million a year. I don't believe that. But regardless, so before Streble gets out of here, I do want to talk, and we'll do some of this when Streble leaves, and we don't have to do 2 hours. We can wrap up. I do want Jeffrey's your thoughts on what do you think Stoops is thinking right now? As you're watching another guy take over your program, your baby almost. Yeah. And the same people that loved on you are loving on him. And it's very transactional. Even though it's it's family, it's also transactional. And so I want your thoughts. I want your thoughts on that. And then I don't know, I can't read my handwriting on the other thing. Who was the young lady who was in our office today, Zachy C? Taylor Mathis, is that her name?
Yep, Taylor Mathis.
She did so good. She killed it.
Does Jeffries know who Taylor Mathis is? Does Streble know who Taylor Mathis is?
I was brought up to speed last Friday of who Taylor Mathis is. So yeah, I understand now.
You're
so you knew who she was. I'm Jason Nance.
No.
I just wanted to get.
I wish I did.
Mr.
Boots. I wish, but no, I didn't. I tell you,
Enz is in a body bag back there, and he took his cat. That's what Sofro did. He's a cold killer. He did some video work for us. He's my boots now. That's my Mr. Boots now. Well, the only reason I say it is, so Nick, Anna, you need to know, Nick met Miss Mathis, and when he did so, everyone erupted. This is the guy that peed in the sink that was talking about it the other day. So
they told her.
Also, Anna, you need to know this, and this is gonna kill Streble. Streble's gonna die when I tell him this. Nick did a lot of laundry last night, and he was gonna wear something nice, but he was worried if he wore something nice, everyone would make fun of him. And if he wore something nice, the Spider brand, you guys know the Spider brand. Calipari used to wear that. The Spider brand. His mom got him Spider brand, but he doesn't fit in it anymore. So instead, out of all the laundry that he did, he went with his old River Frogs jersey, which was not washed, which was laying on the floor. And here's the killer. Here's the killer. To make it better, he sprayed Versace cologne on it that his mom bought him for Christmas.
I applaud him for stepping it up with new company.
He tried.
Nothing is as bad as when we did those corporate games and the shirts we all wore. Nick just took them out of his trunk. I don't know why I ever put that on my body. I probably should have gotten a little bit tested for things after that. I don't know. But
you should have seen Zachy C. Zachy C walked up and said, "I'm Zach Cantrell, host of the UK postgame show."
No.
Oh, he did.
You missed the best part. So apparently,
what's that?
She was on during the segment, and she said, "Oh, who's the guy on the Kentucky postgame show with the cute voice? Not TJ Walker, but the other guy."
Whoa!
I don't.
Well,
I heard that wasn't the truth. I heard it was a little bit of mixing up of stories.
Hang on. Hey, anytime Sofro comes in, it's not good. I understand that.
I hate to. You're right. I hate to agree with Sofro on this, but oh boy, I don't want to do this. I don't know if Sofro, don't disappear. You're my only ally here because no one. I believe that was a lie from Creighton. That's what I believe.
Oh, you think Creighton set him up for failure?
Well, damn, he gave me false confidence.
Because in that interview, Creighton was silent and Diener pushed Blank out of the way. But Blank did ask,
Blank got the dig in on Creighton, and I was dying.
How was Blank silent when I saw a text? So somebody's like, Blank sounded like he was going through puberty.
Well,
I heard.
Blank did ask, how did you perfect the above the head angle?
Are you serious?
I got it. Give me a second.
And they're like, hang on, sir. Yeah, he's like, if you, they did something to the effect of, if it's cold outside, what do you do? And Drew's like, do you walk on a treadmill?
And this was
Okay,
her
but
first
Taylor
time at
did
the
awesome
station.
in that interview.
Oh yeah,
She was very smart, and I thought it was awesome.
No, she was great, but it was Sweatpants Mafia in there. It was like
Sweatpants Mafia.
It was Stoops. It was Stoops at midfield during the Governor's Cup like 6 years ago.
She was a consummate professional. Blank said this.
So how did you perfect the angle on the walking pet? So do you have like a contraption, or do you hold it out?
I hold it with my own darn hand. I don't really know if there is a perfected angle, to be honest with you. Every day it's different. Currently,
how do you do it in the cold weather?
I'm not. They've been inside.
Be walking on a treadmill.
I was in my office and I nearly fell out of my chair. Like I was that blown away.
He was asking about who slides in her DMs. They were like, how did Creighton get through? And she's like, well, he was asking me if I wanted to come on the radio, so he seemed normal. And Blank goes, you're the only person who's ever said that.
Because Creighton is wearing like stuff from like literally Bobby 1.0. Like that's his that's his closing. Streble, do you have to go, Big Worm? Do you got to go?
I got to get out of here.
What are your
before you leave, where are you? Are you looking like you're in Argentina?
No, he's at school.
You're still there?
I was wondering. I was like, that's not his house. I've seen his house.
Kellen's practicing basketball down the street. I got to go pick him up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, you got to answer this. Hang on. You got to answer this before you leave. Who is there longer, Will Stein or Mark Pope?
Will Stein.
Oh. Is that a clean? All right, get out of here, Streble. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Do you guys agree with that? Does everyone agree with that?
Mark Pope needs to leave tomorrow.
Yes.
I mean, I can't argue it. I mean, the way things are trending right now. I mean, BBN is upset, and if it wasn't for Will Stein coming in, they'd be even more upset than they already are.
Will Stein's going to be there in 3 years, and I don't know that Mark Pope's going to be, because I think it could be Billy G 2.0. We're heading that route, and I think they're going to give, after the last 2 years of Mark Stoops, they're going to give Will Stein a few years to play entertaining football before they're super concerned about whether he's winning a bunch of games.
All right, we'll go. Go ahead, Anna. Sorry.
I never, in the basketball football argument, I was like, you're out of your mind. I think it's a football school. I still kind of believe that. But last night felt like a freaking a football school. I did not give a rip about that game. I knew they were going to suck. It felt like Stoops 2.0 on the freaking basketball court. All I wanted to do was talk about football. I was even trying to make LSU Clemson comparisons to the UNC UK game. I'm not into it this season. He's got to go.
By the way, Arkansas leads by 8 with 3.5 to go. Louisville's going to the line on that. So Streble's going to vanish if Louisville comes back and wins after all the big talk, Sofro, that he and TJ Walker, the sports talker, did is getting and me. I told him they're touching the money. I said, you're touching the money. It's halftime. Cal will pound that ball into the ground and miss a bunch of mid-range jumpers and let a team right back in it. And that's what's happening.
We've witnessed it for years.
Yeah, you did. Jeffries, I want your thoughts on this.
Okay.
Playing at the level, what do you think Stoops, because we've all been, let go of a job at some point, and someone takes your job. I mean, I got let go in Indy. They fired a bunch of people, hundreds of people nationwide, and someone ends up taking your job in 3 weeks. And we've all been there in some sort of way, or will be there.
I haven't been fired. I've been. I'm
there you go. You have a contraption where you urinate in your car. What is the?
It's a medical urinal.
It's not a Sprite bottle. So what do you think Stoops is feeling right now? And then what do you make of UK? I believe, and I'm not condemning this on this. I get it. UK, it feels like, is going above and beyond, trying to make this nice on the way out. Honoring Stoops. He got an ovation today. Stein brought him up. Mitch has brought him up. It has not been a you're fired, get the hell out of here. It has been, we love you. We appreciate you. It was time. And here's a coaching change. But regardless, Stoops is while he'll get a bunch of money, is losing an SEC job, and those don't grow on a tree. So what do you think he's thinking? And then what do you make of Kentucky playing nice? Let's start with Jeffries. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, it really depends on what you think about what happened last year. If those Tennessee talks, if he was really, willing to go to Mitch and talk about, trying to get some things resolved and get out last year, and then you even go back further than that and you talk about Texas A&M, he tried to get out then, and I get it. Listen, I get it 100%.
That's a big time job. Yeah,
going to A&M, man, you got to do your thing. Go get your money. We're not mad at you. The things that he had done before then, we hadn't had the 5 and 7s and the 5 and 7s and the back-to-back. So he was thought of even as a higher clip than what he is now. But he's got to be, especially for, even me, I'm 37, and I had to Google how old Will Stein was, because Will Stein went to both of my rivals. He went to Trinity and he went to Louisville. And he's almost an exact year younger than me. And I'm sitting here, that's when I know I'm getting old. I told Streble this yesterday. When I got people that are my age taking head coaching jobs, and then my people that I grew up watching going to the NFL Hall of Fame, I'm like, man, that's why all this grays in my beard right there, because of all that stuff like that. So Stoops has got to be like, man, this young pup's coming in. But the way that he played nice, he's got to kind of open, accepted with open arms. And like you said, the way that everybody's kind of patting him on the ass and saying, hey, great job, even myself included. And I agree with that. I think he's done great things. And you see that, I think this is the reason why you see more and more coaches like a Buzz Williams, 7 years and he's out.
Yep.
7 years and he's out. And this is why.
Well, Scott Satterfield did it. Scott Satterfield did it to Louisville.
Rich Brooks, even when I was there, I always thought, man, why did Coach Brooks retire, right after my senior year? And then looking back, I'm like, I see why. Because, seeing what he had coming in, him getting older, and then seeing what happened when Joker took over. I know it wasn't 100% Joker's fault. I mean, it wasn't 100% because of what he left. But, it's a roller coaster ride. And, you don't have a lot of these Sabans, a lot of these guys, even look at Dabo's going through it now. So it's inevitable. And for him to get out, for him to play nice, listen, kudos to Stoops. I think he did great things. And I'm excited for Will Stein. Listen, I'm not going to be all the way bought in until we see some stuff.
Sure.
We've witnessed even with Cal, look at what we got over here. You can talk all the mess you want, but you got to win. You got to win when it counts. And he's going to get a little bit of grace, and he's going to have, a longer leash. But, you talk all this stuff, talking in the third person. The no BS, his interview in his today, he was like, he called it like it is. Like, this is where we want to be. We don't want to just be 6 and 6, 7 and 5. We're trying to battle with the big boys. And listen, all that talk's nice. And it's like Tyson said, everybody's got a plan till you get punched in that motherfucking face.
Yeah.
Oh,
Go ahead, Anna.
Yeah.
By the way,
I don't know. I think that's adjustment.
By the way, Arkansas leads by 9 with about 90 seconds to go. Louisville had it down to what was it so far? Probably like 4. I know people listening back won't care, but come on, we're talking about it. Anna, go ahead. I mean, I think Stoops will be. I think it's last thing. I think if Stoops, this will be my only thing. I think if Stoops would have stayed one more year, I think they're last in the SEC. And I think it's really bad, and I think it's empty, and I think it's sad, and I think he would have. I think he would have ruined. I think he would have ruined a lot more so of what people remembered him for if you went through that next year. And I think by leaving when he did, getting his payout, getting his money this year, he can take a year off. He can go to Kirby Smart staff and be an analyst. If someone loses a DC, he can go be a DC. And he can enjoy himself. He has the businesses. I think if he would have stayed one more year, it would have been bad. I think getting out the time he did, putting out a simple statement that someone like, Sofro, Kenny Payne couldn't do, that he said, he put the 3 sentences that you need out. And I think Kentucky has went above and beyond honoring him and treating him with respect all the way out.
In my world, inheriting what I inherited, this is really year 1 for me. Because this is the first time I get to bring my players in and start the process of rebuilding a program.
Go ahead, Anna.
Almost in a weird way, guys. I feel like the love that was shown to him and the patience that was shown to him, I think a lot of it coming off of this is because of renegotiating the buyout. That is a big dog move. That's a big man move. Forever grateful for that. I think he showed a lot of just good character in that sense. But it is weird that he's always gotten this free pass. Meanwhile, John Calipari goes, and it was very tense, the goodbyes. He's a national championship winning coach. You were the coolest of the cool.
And he had nothing vacated. And Anna, he didn't have wins vacated. Like, I ain't going to get hung up on that, okay? Because I believe Patino's wins Yeah, I believe Patino's wins are his wins and Boeheim's wins. And like, I'm not about that, but John Calipari had no wins
less
vacated.
trouble than anybody.
Yeah.
But I think it's because, and this is where Stoops got the longer leash. He just played Mitch's game. Like, Calipari was just always too flashy for him. He was uncomfortable with it. He wanted it with anybody with real confidence. He can't handle it. So that's why I'm surprised he hired a young gun who's young and very, very talented, and just a juggernaut. We'll see how it goes. I don't think he has the type of ego that sometimes it does take to win. That doesn't mean I don't think Stein is going to win, but somebody like Calipari, I mean, you have to have it a little bit, right? I just think handling both of those situations a year apart is so bizarre. Stoops is held on this pedestal, and yeah, it's great. It's awesome. He did a lot for the program, but there's this weird reverence about, I'm like, does somebody know where bodies are buried? Like, what's going on here? Why are we treating him like that? It's great. It's cool. It is nice of him to renegotiate his buyout, but anybody timing of it, but anybody with a brain cell would do that to salvage your career because you're getting generational wealth. You have been the whole time. Then you get the third highest buyout in all of college football history at $37 million. You're at one point the seventh highest paid college coach in college football. The only one not even expected. Everybody else expected to compete for national championships. You're not even expected to compete for conference championships. So why was he always handled with kid gloves? Like, what does he know? That's so strange to me. It's great. It's so nice that he decided to leave, but I think it's weird. And I will say this, I don't feel bad for him. If you really gave that job everything you had and you didn't let your ego get in the way, and you're happy with your performance and you know you did all you could, you wouldn't mind watching the next person step up. That's happened to me in journalism, being budget cut from things. And I think, looking back, you don't have jealousy when you know you did the best that you could do. Which I don't know if he feels that way. Did he get in his own way? I don't know. But I just think the Barnhart relationship between he and Cal and he and Stoops is just more evident than ever of how weird it was. And I don't think I'll ever trust it.
All right. I want to react to that, Anna, but go ahead, Zachy C, because I think I know the answer why. Go ahead.
No, I'm with you. I think Stoops did the exact right thing, getting out at the right time. I could have argued that his legacy would be better if he had gotten the A&M job because he did the whole Michael Scott thing where, in the last episode of season 3 of The Office where he's doing the corporate stuff, he's convinced he's going to get the corporate job, so he's telling everybody goodbye. And then he has to walk back with his tail between his legs because he didn't get the job. That was Mark Stoops when he didn't get the A&M job, and he was never the same guy. And I think he deserves to be remembered for being the winningest coach in Kentucky history. He won 10 games twice, which is not nothing.
No, too, with that, it's like you're the winningest. You have the most wins. What's your winning percentage? He also has more losses than anybody else. Sorry, I just had to say that.
Right. No, he's 7. No, there's context to it. You're absolutely right. The fact is he's still 72 and 80. I mean, that's not going to be celebrated anywhere. And when you get paid as much money as he does, you should expect to win 10 games more than twice in 13 years. And I don't want a mediocre coach. And Mark Stoops was fine, but I consider him more of a mediocre coach. And the last 2 years really showed that. I mean, back-to-back losing seasons. And not only that, it's the fact that you don't show up in the Governor's Cup at all. 41-14 and 41-0. The fact that they lost 41-0 to a team starting a walk-on running back and a fifth-string running back and allowed both of them to rush for over 100 yards was gross. And to me, I think if they're competitive against Vanderbilt and against Louisville, I don't think the move gets made. I think it's because they were not competitive in either of those games. The fact that they got blown out, the fact they were embarrassed, I think Mitch Barnhart had no choice. And I think a large portion of it, as you said, is because he's doing the monthly payout instead of doing it all at once. But if I'm Mark Stoops, you know what I'm doing? I'm finding a place to go on my yacht and sip umbrella drinks. I don't think he's feeling too bad about himself right now. You get $37 million to be a mediocre coach. I mean, I don't plan on leaving this job anytime soon, but if I would like to be perfectly 72 and 80, I could be slightly below 500 and take a $37 million buyout. I'd be perfectly happy doing that. So the reason.
Listen, I agree with you guys. By the way, Michael Brown just got fouled on a 3. Louisville's down by 11 with 30 seconds to go. I agree with you guys. I bring it up because even though he's made a ton of money, he's still a person, and I always just wonder, what you think. It's been his job for 13 years, and he's watching all these people that have loved him love on Will Stein, and that's just. And by the way, I agree with you guys with everything you're saying. To go back to what Anna said. The answer to why the dynamic was the dynamic is because obviously, like you mentioned, I think Anna's right. Stoops played Mitch's game. I think that's spot on. Okay, I think you have an issue as well where Calipari is. You guys know what kind of personality John Calipari is. So I think both of those things go into it. I would say the other thing that goes into it is, in Louisville ran into this with Bobby 1.0 and John L., and they ran into it probably a little bit earlier than obviously Kentucky did.
It's not communism.
College football is a drug. When you're good at college football, it hits different. And Kentucky had years where they were good for college football. So I forget who mentioned this, but I do. It was on our station, and they were right, where it's like when you gave the contract to him, as bad of a deal this last contract was, okay? As much as I believe Mitch got played by Jimmy Sexton, the super agent, the other side of that is he's looking and saying, this guy is giving us a drug. We've had the college basketball drug, right? We are getting the football drug, something that we've never had, and it feels so good, and it's different, and it feels so good. And when he signed him, everything went haywire with some of the things you guys have talked about. And I find that's why I think you had that dynamic, is because Kentucky basketball has had what Cal gave them. They've had the championships. They've had the Final Four. They've had, now not as much with the pros, and the run that Cal had making the Final Fours is ridiculous. But you guys know what I'm saying. The drug that Mark Stoops gave him by winning 10 games and mattering and breaking Tennessee and the Florida streak and dominating Satterfield in the Governor's Cup and those sorts of things. Some of that is not what Kentucky had consistently, and that's why you get what you get. By the way, Arkansas beats Louisville 89-80. So that's
I just saw
final score there.
I
So
completely
congratulations to BBN.
Andy, I completely see what you're saying on that, but I feel like anybody with a brain, especially an AD, if you're in that position, it was fool's gold. You shouldn't be fooled by the game. Florida had their worst years ever. That's when you're beating them. It's not like you're contending with the top of the SEC.
I know.
He also gave bad contracts to
You're right.
women's basketball. So that's the thing too, but I think it also was evident in hiring Mark Pope, who can't even scare a good result out of his own team. I think Mitch Barnhart doesn't work
Anna's
well
going through it.
Mark,
Anna's going through it.
Well, with the personality that it takes to be a good coach. That's why you're never going to see a Bobby Petrino at Kentucky. Because sometimes
She's going through it.
Psycho, you need to be a sociopath to be a good coach. And Mitch Barnhart is too busy trying to make saints out of head coaches, and that's how you get Mark Pope.
Yes, there you go. I call him Pee Wee Pope. I call him Anna's going through it right now. Are you okay? You have thrown a fit on Twitter for over 60 hours. Are you okay?
I need to go. I did go to my job today, guys. Don't worry. I went to the real world. I went to the office. I'm fine. Okay. But
that was a lot.
Where's Tanner's Streble coin thing? That's what we needed right there for when Anna started getting going.
We can shut it down here in just a second. What if staff-wise, Jeffries, football guy, put your hand in the dirt. He brings in Justin Burke. I think he's probably pretty smart, but a lower level, I think he needs a couple guys, upper echelon, experienced. I made fun to bring in Bobby for 1 year, and that would be great. I know, and I don't think this is going to happen. I know the internet rumor. Sofro knows where I'm going. The internet rumor was bring Charlie Strong in.
That's what I said.
If you bring in Charlie Strong and Bobby, the amount of sex in Lexington is going through the roof. Am I wrong? The amount of, it's just like the A word, the adultery. I mean, it's plentiful. Lexington
Kelly
better
Craft watch out. Look,
everybody better watch out. If Bobby P's there with Charlie S, things are going haywire. But what kind of staff? To me, I like when young people get an opportunity like Stein. I want to be clear. I'm not ageism in him here. I'm saying I think he does need some veteran voices around him. We talked all about this earlier. What do you think?
I mean, I can agree. I mean, him being a puppy like he is. I mean, if you look, I can't remember how old Mark Stoops was when he got, but he had to have been significantly older than what Stein is now. But the big thing is, I mean, some of these guys, and you heard him talk about it in his opening press conference. I mean, he's going to be leaning on like a Dan Lanning. He said Dan Lanning's name several times, and that's somebody. I mean, listen, if I'm a Kentucky fan and my coach is talking about somebody like Dan Lanning and how he wants to mimic things that he's done, after Dan Lanning, 100%, go for it. He said, well, how did he word it? He said, I'm going to call Dan as long as he answers the phone.
I love Dan and Lanning. I love Lanning, by the way.
100%. Yeah. I think he's an OG, and he's a young OG. He's more Unc than OG. But moving forward, I think, what is it, this Pat Danbito guy that's going to be the GM? I don't know much about him, but he looks older, and he seems like he's been in the game for a while. So that's somebody that he can lean on. But I think staff-wise, if you're looking at like an OC, is Justin Burke going to be the OC? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Well, he's going to be the OC, but Stein's going to call the plays, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So I think he needs to bring some grizzled veteran in, hard nosed, defensive coordinator, because if you're going to have this high flying offense, in today's game, yes, you can win, 60-50, but you pair, his type of offense to a defense like a Chuck Strong. I mean, things can get, as you said, sexual. I mean, that's something that would get BBN going, because we battled against those Charlie Strong defenses.
Is it too much Louisville? Is it too much Louisville? Is it too much Louisville?
No, it doesn't bother. Doesn't bother me.
Okay,
and
that doesn't bother you.
With blood, sweat, and tears doesn't bother me.
It bothers me. Here's the reason. It doesn't bother. No. It's not what you think. It's not what you think. It's not they're taking our players and they love UK. No, it's not that. What bothers me is we've seen the opposite happen. We bring in the blue and we see the blue infiltrate. We see Kenny Payne come in and immediately smooch up to Cal. Will Stein is there, and I'm sure he was given some words of advice before, and even though he's a UK guy, but said maybe don't talk positively about the Cards outside of when you got asked that question. Don't bring it up yourself. Don't go out of your way to talk good about Louisville, about a place where you've been. And I'm just jealous. I'm jealous of guys going to a place and saying bleep them. I just wish one time Kenny Payne, he's the option I'm going to right now. Rick Pitino calling it Camelot. Oh, I miss Camelot. I miss everything that happened there. I love it. Oh, if I could go back, if I didn't go to the NBA, all this kind of stuff. Instead, all we get is just betrayal. I'm tired of betrayal.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem. We all know this. Okay, we have all been through this. There are okay, so I'm using Mark. I'm not picking on him, but Mark Blankenbaker has said this on the air that he, with many of his exes, is friends with his exes.
Oh yeah.
And so Diener, you guys know Double D. Diener's like, what are you talking about? This is literal insanity. Okay.
Well, tonight with Calipari.
Okay. Louisville is not good with any of their exes. They have Bobby Petrino burned the house down. Remember, it was Andre Bad Moon Rising who had his house burned down, right? By Left Eye Lopez. That's a must.
Right.
That's a must.
That's a good one, though. It's good.
That is. You know who delivered that news? Let's see if you guys know. Kurt Loder delivered that news. That's how musty it is. Do you guys remember Kurt Loder?
I was a child. I was
MTV Kurt Loder. Yeah. Anyway, boy,
I was Nick Valvano pissing my pants at that time. Probably.
He is peeing his pants right now.
All right, Nicky B.
He and Jeanette are cuddling, watching Zoolander for the 30th time right now. I'm sure. But,
what is this? The Cinefa Ants?
But Louisville's bad with all their lovers. They're bad with all of them. Kenny Payne left in turmoil. I would say Charlie not so much because he went to Texas, right? But, he ain't coming. Have you seen Charlie come back? Have you seen Charlie ever come back in anything? So, even Jurich, it took all these years, and Louisville didn't do anything about the Jurich thing. He came out. They didn't advertise it. They didn't do anything. They didn't go on Drew's show. I only bring that up because they're really bad with their exes, Sofro. So Sofro might be a guy that's good with his exes. I can't tell. He's got 90 kids. He leads a prayer group. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. But Louisville's bad with all their exes. I'm right.
I don't need. We don't need to talk about me. I do well. I do okay.
Now you don't want to talk about.
I'll say this.
Okay.
Your boys.
You know what I'm about Louisville.
Your boys. Well, you said how Sofro is with his exes. Your boy's been fat and bald my entire life. Never had a problem getting a date. That's all I'm going to say. I do okay. We have good relationships.
Your
Dude,
your Facebook profile is you're like 100 pounds.
Oh, back in the day, yeah. Oh, dude, I
You're 100
love.
pounds.
Hey, that's how you know. See, that's how you know you're in a good relationship because she cooks well,
Yep.
she takes care of you, and you start putting on the pounds. And at some point, you're like, maybe I need to get back into running in the gym. But then, at this point, we keep popping out kids. I don't know what to tell you. I feel like I'm doing okay.
She's popping out kids, not you.
Well. I'll say this. Last time, see, this is really getting off course, and this is the problem when I talk. But the last time when she gave birth to my daughter, Camilla, who was beautiful, amazing, we did it all natural. She experienced everything, and she wanted to do it. No whatever, no shot, no none of that.
Was it in a hospital or was it like in your living room in a blow up pool?
We blew up a jacuzzi. I had the jets going. No, we were supposed to do it at this I think it's called like the Living Tree or some whatever crap. I don't know what it's called. Some whatever.
Yeah.
It's a Christian thing. So I guess everything's a cult if you whatever you think a certain way. But anyway, it's a Christian thing. But anyway, we wanted to go there. She set it all up. I didn't have to do any work. I just had to show up. That's my job. So we were supposed to do that, but because of certain, I guess, health risks, they had to go to the hospital. Yep. As we are filling up the tub, she wanted to do it at least in a tub. She wanted a water birth. We're filling up the tub. The water's going up. Next thing I know, it's coming out. Baby's coming out. We have no choice. So she got stuck, whatever. As I'm holding her up, basically, I had to hold her the entire time as she's doing it. And I'll tell you, I have a new respect. I mean, obviously, I had a respect for my wife anyway, but it's a totally different life-changing, relationship-changing respect I have for what women go through. And this is my soapbox, and I'm Mark Innocent. Anyway, I'm just kidding.
I want to pause everything. I love poor Zachy C. I was watching Zachy C's face as Sofro says we were filling up the tub, and I'm holding her. And then the baby comes, and I'm watching Zach's face with his Jim Tressel artifacts behind him and his Woody Hayes artifacts behind him, and I don't know why that made me smile. That's Wednesday night on ESPN Louisville Plus.
That's what this platform's for.
By the way, I have got two texts. One is from a UK terrorist who says, one is from a UK terrorist who says Kenny Payne won those games. That's number one. And James Streble texted a couple people. I'm in a text chain with Jack Grossman and Mitchell Hannigan and Streble, which is
tell Mitch what's
it's rough. It's a rough one. Streble says Keith Pointer is mad at me. That also coming down in the last few minutes. So I wonder what's going on with that.
Tweet, yeah.
Oh, what did he tweet out? Tweet out? Do I need to look it up? Hang on.
Well, I love it. I love, obviously we lost the game.
Oh, he tweeted out the L's up from Kenny Payne. Okay, well, nothing wrong with that. Jeffries is gone. Is there anything we haven't? I mean, on my sheet of lies, we've covered everything that I wanted to cover with the Will Stein and everything in between. So I don't know. How do we think Will Stein does in the immediate future, and then we can jump out of here. So Jeffries, you want to do that? Just final thoughts. Will Stein getting the job. What do you kind of want to see from him here sooner rather than later?
Yeah, I mean, I'm hopeful. I'm optimistic. I mean, change is good. Change was needed in this situation, and I feel like I said earlier, I think he's going to have a pretty long leash. But you're going to have to see, we had that consistency for a while with Mark Stoops. I mean, you had that 7-5 was the benchmark. And obviously when he dipped below that, this is where we're at. And like I said, I think he has all the tools internally. He's going to have to work on his staff and kind of see how that goes and kind of build around him. But from what I heard from him today, man, I'm excited. And, this is probably going to come back and bite me in the ass, and we're going to be on ESPN 680 at 5:45 in 4 years, and we're going to be 2-10, and it's going to be a whole thing, and you're going to pull this up, and it's going to be fun, and we're going to have fun with it. But I think he has all the tools, and I'm hopeful. Like I said on the show yesterday, I went and got my tickets. Like, I'm renewing my tickets because.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
well, that means when I go up there, you're not going to be there, or you're going to be like
15 minutes before kick. You know that. You know how that works.
You're going to be there 10 minutes before kickoff, and I'm trying to be there 3.5 hours, and I'm trying to drink. I'm trying to drink in the parking lot, and I'm trying to make fun of Jason. Yeah, you know what I'm trying to do. Anna, what do you think? Immediate future? What do you hope?
Yeah, listen, I think anything was an upgrade. I think you just needed to set the standard of the program that what was there wasn't happening. I didn't expect them to hit it out of the park on the hire or even for the coaching search to go as well as it did. But I think a change would have been an upgrade and a move in the right direction. So my standards aren't astronomical, but how do you take a guy who's been to the greatest success, been to the playoff, coached Heisman quarterbacks? He knows what he's doing. He's been around success. This isn't a foreign blueprint. It's different than a first-time coach trying to figure it out who hasn't been on a championship caliber team. He's got all the right connections, and he's a young gun. I mean, to be that young and to have already been the offensive coordinator at Oregon for 3 years, and you're 36 years old, and to have the history that he does already, the resume, I just think he's been around enough success that it's going to be smoother than we think, but anything would have been an upgrade. So I'm okay to see where it goes. I'm okay if it takes a little bit of time.
Before we go to Zachy C, I will say for me, I'm interested in what the contract looks like. I haven't seen that yet. I mean, we're doing this right now. It's almost 10 o'clock. I haven't seen it yet. And so I'm just interested in pay and buyout figures because I am wondering if Mitch wants to pay a little bit less to the football coach than he was paying, and as you mentioned, top 10 money at one point. It was top 10 money for a few years there. That you pay a little bit less. I mean, that's what Pat Kelsey's doing. That's what he's done with Jeff Brom. It's what he's done with Pat Kelsey. Quite frankly, is well. I mean, the problem there is if Pat Kelsey goes the Elite Eight or Final Four, you're going to be paying him a lot more. But right now, you get a couple years where you're not having to
gotta win a game first.
Yeah, that he's paying a little bit less. Or a lot less, but I would say at least way under half. I mean, what, 4.5 maybe? I don't know. We'll see what Will Stein gets, and you're able to kind of maybe build things a little bit, and you have some room to maneuver. Zachy C, what do you think, buddy?
Let's just say I hope that Will Stein wants to win games by more than 1 point. I think he's going to be a little bit better in that regard, but. I mean, we've seen this before. The other Oregon offensive coordinator that got hired by a decent program is Kenny Dillingham, and he's gone out to Arizona State, and they were in the college football playoff just last year. They were in the top 25 this year, and I'm not saying that I expect Will Stein to take Kentucky to the playoff anytime in the next 3 years, but, I mean, if it can happen at Indiana, the losingest program in the history of college football, if it can happen at Vanderbilt, where they won 10 games this season and are maybe potentially a playoff team. They're probably not going to make it, but at least they were in the conversation. Sure. I see no reason why Will Stein can't win 6, 7, 8 games within a couple years. I think next year is probably going to be a little bit rough. I expect, about the same as far as the total wins. But like I said, I think they're going to be a lot more entertaining to watch. I think by year 3, I want to see Kentucky get to a point where they can get to the 8-9 win plateau, because I think they'll be able to get better quarterbacks to come there than they ever got with Mark Stoops. Will Levis ended up being a second-round pick, but like I mentioned, you got Bo Nix and Dylan Gabriel to play off of. I mean, what he did at Oregon with those guys. I'm not saying Kentucky's going to get those guys, but again, Indiana got Fernando Mendoza. Vanderbilt got Diego Pavia. All you have to do is find the right quarterback. You've got the right young offensive mind. And if it all works out, he's going to be there for a while. So I think Will Stein can be successful. I think we can't use they're a basketball school. Kentucky's never had success in football. I don't want to hear that as an excuse, because there's just too many examples of programs that are worse than Kentucky historically that have had that success. So I don't want to hear that. But I think Will Stein's going to be there 3-4 years at the very least. I think he'll get a leash because people are just ready to move on from Mark Stoops. So a change is good in this sense. So I'm excited to see what happens next year. I'm excited to actually have watchable football. I think that's the first order of business. I want watchable football. And then after that, let's start worrying about winning some games and being a threat in the SEC.
Yeah, I think the way that Stoops ended his tenure gives even more of a little bit of a leash, right?
No
Like,
doubt.
I mean, you're an Ohio State fan. If Ryan Day left and went and coached the New York Giants, the other guy comes in and can't be 9-3. Like, you know,
No.
it's a different standard. I would say the thing for me that I want to see from him, and Jeffries, I mentioned this before you came on, and then we'll bounce. And I know our followers keep growing, but you know we'll figure out how to do this. Maybe we do it a little bit later. Wednesdays might be bad for me, but Thursday we do a Thirsty Thursday and kind of mix it up.
You don't want my opinion on the Kentucky football future? You don't want that?
We're coming to it. Is you know Will Stein needs someone who is going to bring in the bravado that Stoops did. Stoops never had someone that brought in the smarts that I think Will Stein could have. And
Liam Cohen might have been that guy.
Yeah, Liam Cohen was that guy. And I even said on the air, hey, you want him to be like the Liam Cohen. I mean, there is a little bit of that. Yeah. And so you see that with Liam and Ben Johnson and Canales with the Carolina Panthers. And, you know, the Giants try to do that a little bit with Dable and some other younger guys that were out there. But, you know, to me, being smarter in game, getting back to being able to get some guys that you find kind of in the mix. Stoops was really good at that for a number of years. Not 5-star guys, finding some guys that could play at the SEC level and excel and might even, you know, get some NFL money and guys that weren't big-time recruits. And I think also winning in the margins. I thought that what was really bothersome about like the Louisville football team for me was just that they just didn't win in the margins at all. And their margin for error is bigger than Kentucky's, or it was at least the last couple of years. But they didn't do anything in the margins. It's like the little things matter in football. It can't be a play here or there. A play here or there is literally the difference in football. That's the difference. It's not an excuse. You lose a close game. Yeah, that's what this is about. And so in-game coaching and being able to win and be smarter than some teams in the margin is something Kentucky needs to excel at.
Yes.
And then he needs to find out, as you mentioned, Jeffries, the brute strength, right? The puff out the chest peacock guy. And maybe that's an assistant coach. It's a linebacker coach. It's a DC. It's a running back coach. It's these guys that can bring that to Will Stein. So we shall see. So, Fro, how are you feeling about Pat Kelsey before we get out of here? How are you feeling today?
Pat Kelsey? I thought we were talking about Will Stein. I was just.
Well, do you want to talk? You can talk Will Stein. From a Louisville fan, them getting all the Louisville guys. What do you think?
I'm a fan. I think that's I think that's a little bit interesting, and I'll see how that dynamic ends up working out. I think a couple of personal things. I think it's a pretty, even though he's had a meteoric rise as an offensive coordinator, going from, literally high school, and yes, he was a graduate assistant and all that, up into Oregon and now at Kentucky. I'm kind of worried for him. I'm kind of worried because it's a massive gamble. Yes, this could be something that works out amazing. The one aspect of this that I kind of don't love is that Will Stein's a Kentucky fan. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because it makes it that. No, what I mean is, I hated it for Louisville. I hated when you brought in Kenny Payne, somebody who has an attachment to the program. I don't like that at all. I've always hated, sorry, I'm going to go Italian soccer. Juventus hired Andrea Pirlo to be their coach after they sacked Sardi. And one of my issues there was he is one of your greatest players and you have a history that you have a connection with. And it makes it so much harder to move on from these guys when they fail. Inevitably or not, when they fail, it makes it so much harder to rip that Band-Aid off.
I don't disagree with you, Bro. I don't.
And that's one of the things.
Mitch Barnhart said it too much about how he was a Kentucky kid.
Yeah. And that
it doesn't matter after the press conference and after year one. It doesn't matter
at the exact same time while you've got Mark Pope on the other side, and you're dealing with this, and you're like, we can't get rid of him. If he's going to be this bad all season, we can't get rid of him right away. You have to at least give him another year. And I would have.
Last thing I'll say on this, okay. and I mean that because I won't take up all of our time. We've done 2 hours and we'll post it. It is interesting to me how it was. I'm using Streble's not here. He gets upset. Matty Bangs, Jones talked about this, and it's interesting the way that it's been put out there is because Mitch Barnhart could be gone here soon, they have made it feel like it's a collaborative hire.
Yeah.
Even though Mitch was the face of it, and I believe ultimately will be the face of it, the AD is. If he's not, then I always, we always laugh when you get a search firm like Louisville got a search firm for Kenny Payne, right? Like that's funny. Like, but that happens all the time. You give someone $300,000. I mean, it really does. It happens all the time.
How much money do they spend on that? Like, how much money do you just
literally
throw into a dumpster?
Those are a few $100,000.
Andy, I like this point though, because I feel like Mitch has been pressured into any like good hire. Like, I mean, John Calipari, Mike Pratt pressured him into it. It's like it was never his choice.
It was.
You put that right on Mike Pratt.
This has been very well. No, that's true. Mike Pratt was in the room. This has been very, very public that there's the great Oracle of Seven with Jacob Tammy and others. That there's the group of seven. That there's associatees. That there's Mitch Barnhart. That there's an ex-AD. That there's the president. That there's an ex-president. That there's a board of trustees. That this is a multi-layer hire, and I find that interesting if they're doing that. Because Mitch may leave soon and they don't want to leave a new AD, even if it's internal with somebody who they didn't hire, that they're trying to make it sound like we as a collective unit hired Will Stein. And that is, even though it's going to fall on Mitch, and if he stinks, Mitch is going to catch heat because of that and because of some other things. But I do find it interesting how they have prepped it that way. That's not something I was thinking that was going to be the case. Can you really? I mean, on my show, I said, can you really let Mitch make another hire? I mean, can you let him do?
Instill confidence.
Can you let him do that? So I'll leave that open to you guys. But that was really interesting to me how they've had kind of almost 3 or 4 checks and balances and made sure that that it's not just Mitch Barnhart, that it's other high-ranking people at UK who are okay with this hire. Go
look
ahead.
At what happened with Elko at A&M. Look at what happens anywhere. The money talks. Money always talks. You either have boosters. I was scared that Kentucky only had the Crafts, right? Who else is going to throw around money? Somebody needed to step in maybe last season and pressure Mitch to make a change. But what is an AD there? Are they getting like half of their agents' pay cuts because these coaches' agents' pay cuts? Because some of these decisions make no sense. You would think with that much money in college football, you'd be making a lot smarter decisions. I don't know if it's arrogance or if it's corrupt or what's going on. Look at freaking LSU. You fire your AD, you get the governor involved. So it's far from the only place. I think maybe it's more of a criticism on the position of AD anyway, though there has been a big thing with Mitch Barnhart pressuring him to make a move at all. And it gives me a lot of hope and a lot of confidence that there is enough sway at Kentucky in this new age of NIL. I thought maybe there wasn't. I thought maybe the money was all concentrated in one place. You're only getting one opinion. But to hear that it's maybe coming from the sway, the pressure's coming from different places, that makes me feel better because that's what got Texas A&M Mike Elko instead of Mark Stoops. You need that. You need more brains in the room, and you need to follow the money.
Well, here's my question is being that this happened so quickly. So, like going into that Louisville game, everybody, I mean, I picked Kentucky to win. Everybody had, in the result of that game ends up being like, oh crap, we need to make a damn head coaching change. So being that it was so quick, it needed to happen so quick. Is that why there were so many minds into that room? Because they needed to make a decision that much quicker? If this would have happened, we've heard rumblings that this was going to happen, after the Auburn game. Is there a lot? Are those people that made this decision at the end of the year? Are those same people that were going to make the decision after the Auburn game? That's a question I have.
Yeah, I think it goes back to Mitch. I think it goes back to Mitch kind of being at the end. I think I said this on my show, and I have no sourcing to this, but it makes you think if they could have made a bowl game, and that is you win one of the next two, Vandy and U of L in the Governor's Cup. If you win one of those games, you win 6 games, you go bowling, and then you can sell. Hey, we're bringing in, whatever. We're bringing in this. We have a new NIL this. We have this, blah, blah, blah. We have all this, and you sell that, and Mitch comes out in February and, while Pope is floundering, and he comes out and says, hey, at the end of the fiscal year, I'm retiring. So July 1st, he's gone. You hand it off to someone, most likely. You guys would know it, internal, a couple different names out there. You hand it off to the next guy, and then the next person gets a year with Stoops. And, by the way, someone like Will Stein is still around. If you want to, what I'm saying. That, you can say, well, maybe he's hired by South Florida, maybe Heartline. I don't know. But some are all going to Florida. That, I'm not going to blame Mitch for that. That's Florida. It is what it is. I mean, he got a bag. He got $7.5 million, big time staff, big time NIL. So, they're desperate.
Others wanted him.
Yeah. I mean, you could argue that. I mean, I don't hold that against Mitch. I don't. I can understand if maybe a Kentucky fan feels that way, but I don't. But I think in a perfect world, they make a bowl game, they do some selling, they keep everything together. The next guy gets a year with Stoops, and then you get to kind of make that decision, and you don't have to worry about it. The money would be basically the same regardless, but I think that would have been perfect case scenario. But, it didn't happen. You lost by 100 to Vanderbilt, and Vanderbilt looked a hell of a lot better than you at every position, and then you got your teeth kicked in by a bunch of backups. So, Sofro, what are you thinking? Are you guys good? Are we done? We've went 2 hours and 6 minutes. What do you guys think?
I think it's been great. Can I say one final thing, and then
you can say whatever you want to say?
I just want to plug a little bit. Well, first of all, the last comment that I was going to make, but it really just going to be more of a teaser, but more. I just think Kentucky fans. I think you all are falling in love. You do this all the time. You fall in love too quick. And Terillo, we'll talk about it on Sunday after dark. Guys, tune in. This is how I wanted to plug. You're the birds making love behind me. That's what you are. You're excited. You're good to go. That's what it is. Anyway, tune in Sunday nights, 9 p.m. after dark. We're trying to get these things here on ESPN Louisville Plus. More content this way, hoping to grow that as well. So tune in with that. If you haven't already, guys, do me a favor. Hit the like button, smash the subscribe button on the YouTube channel as well. And smash that freaking like button.
That's a YouTuber thing. That's a YouTuber thing.
It was. I learned it from the beginning.
Smash that like button.
Yeah, hit the like button, smash the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. Now threw me off. Hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos as well. Yeah. All right.
What the hell does the bell do? Is that like an alert?
It's basically if you have a YouTube app, it'll tell you every time we put out new content. So it's so that we can inundate you with our bullshit. That's it.
Right, well, that's it. There you go. He's cursing again. All right, guys. Appreciate it. Until next time, watch and subscribe and hit the bell for one Sofro. See you guys.
See you guys.